Hello. Welcome. Hopefully today we're gonna be just completing this VN because I'd like it to be done. Honestly, my thoughts about sayanouta are kind of like, it's a visual novel, I guess. I think I like the concept of like Saya as this like, you know, abomination, this eldritch horror monster, more than I like the visual novel's content itself. It's a little too like, how do I say? It's not exactly that I'm a fan of like, I don't know, sexual assault, you know what I mean? And this game, or this story has a lot of it, to a point where like I'm playing the censored version and I'm like, it's not like I want to be tortured. You know? But hey everyone, that's my warning for the beginning. We're gonna finish this game and I want to beat Saya's ass. I feel like a lot of people come into the game because, well, the story, and I want to be like critical about it, right? It's kind of like I assume, like a fetish kind of thing in some ways. And I'm just like, I guess I'm not the target audience. I was hoping, I guess, for more horror-ish. And don't get me wrong, it is kind of horrible what's happening in this game. I do think like Saya as this like fleshy blobby monster thing is an interesting like concept, and I think it's great. The idea that like Fuminori has been like corrupted, like he's lost his humanity and everything because like, you know, unfortunately he's in this state where his brain cannot like see people as people anymore, and I can't, like, obviously we can't imagine what that's like, but the fact that you know, it's hard to judge him as a character because you're like, yeah, I go insane too. But at the same time, it's like, oh man, yeah, he's truly lost his humanity now, and he's willing to like kill, or like doesn't mind his friends being killed for the sake of Saya and whatnot. So the last time we were playing this game, basically, to recap, Saya's like this fleshy monster thing, and Fuminori sees the world as fleshy monsters, but he sees Saya as this like cute girl, and he's like, wow, you're the only human looking thing in this world. And she's like, wow, there's someone who actually likes me. And then he rejected like all his friends and whatnot, and he's trying to find more information about Saya. And then like his friend Yo, who was like in love with him, like was like tricked, and like Saya changed her body into a fleshy monster too, and now like they're using her as like a sex slave and whatever, and I'm just like, okay. Like, you know, reading this story doesn't make me think like, oh my god, this is so deep, and oh my god, it's so effed up. I'm just like, alright, clearly the yes, you could have like a dark horror story, and I think like what they're going for is fine, but at the same time, like, this story, I don't think it was for me. So I'm really hoping that now we're with Koji and the cool nurse woman, I think her name is Ryoko. Now that with Koji and Ryoko, I hope they beat Saya and Fuminori's ass. I want them dead. That's my aim for this game. And that will be my favorite ending. So, we're just gonna finish the game today, and hopefully they'll die. And I'm like, yippee! But I'm assuming there's gonna be a good ending, which is gonna be a bad ending for me. Still, like, don't get me wrong, I like the concept of this VN. I just think the content in it is probably not something that I seek out in experiences that I want to play. So I'm glad that this is a fairly short VN, and we're just gonna finish it before the end of the year wraps up, so I don't have to think about it ever again. So here we go. Alright, so Koji is an idiot too. Koji's like, hey Fuminori, I'm alive. So now we're gonna fight each other. And I'm like, you stupid idiot, you haven't even come up with a plan yet, and now you're gonna reveal that you're alive. Koji, idiot. But I believe the last time we were playing, we're about to like confront them or something, or we're about to make some plans. So let's go. Alright. Koji pulls up 2 blocks away from the Sakisaka house and stares at the silent building. Let me make sure I can put my chat here so I can read it easier. Here we go. In the bright light of the morning, the house seems shrouded in a dark miasma. Miasma? Like a black hole torn out of the landscape. It is just a figment of... is it just a figment of Koji's imagination? Where are we? Sakisaka house? Is that Fuminori's house? I'm forgetting the characters' names. Who's Sakisaka? Yes, that is Fuminori's house. God, I only know Fuminori by that one name. Every window is closed, offering no glimpse of the inside. Koji has no way of knowing where the Fuminori is home. Oh, that's right. Last time we were here, Saya and Fuminori are like, we gotta go. We gotta go. They're coming for us. A pedestrian walks his dog down the street, glancing back at Koji through the windshield after he passes by. Koji isn't surprised by the attention. He hasn't bathed or changed clothes since spending the night buried in mud, so he must look like a vagrant inside his car. That's right, because he was stuck in a well for like a day or something. When he looks into the rearview mirror, he sees the haggard visage of a man with one foot in the grave staring back at him. It's hard to believe that the tired, unshaven face is really his. I'm so dead tired, but I gotta kill my bestie, Fuminori, because he sucks. If he stays here for too long, someone might report him to the police. He better pull himself together and get moving. He drives slowly up to the Fuminori house, quickly checks to make sure no one's around, and gets out of the car. Let's beat his ass! Anyone who might be in the house probably heard the sound of the engine, but there's no point worrying about that now. Koji walks swiftly through the gate and yard to the front door. He puts his hand on the doorknob, foregoing the bell. The time for such pleasantries has passed, that's right. The door is unlocked, and the doorknob turns easily in his hand. He puts his ear to the door and listens for any signs of life. Oh, the music's gone now. He's acting like a thief. He realizes with some shame, but that is the least of his worries now. No sound from within. Okay, something I will say, the sound effects and like the OST of this game is pretty good. Like the intense blaring of the guitar or whatever. I think it's good for this game. Yeah, it's just not a songs I would like listen in my free time though. No sound from within. After checking the street again to make sure no one's looking, he quickly opens the door and disappears inside. Disappears. Oh dear. An indescribable stink immediately assaults his nostrils. He's already prepared for anything, however, so rather than discourage him, the stench only sharpens his caution to a razor's edge. That's right, it stinks in here! Stinky poopy! He has crossed this threshold many times in the past, and his memories of days spent here are still bright. So why? Why does he feel the same ominous, blood-chilling aura that permeated Ogai's home and cavern? Anger and sorrow seize Koji's heart, as though a dear friend's grave has been defiled. That's right, because his girlfriend died in here too. Got eaten. But he doesn't know that. Koji doesn't remove his shoes before entering. He knows why he's here. It's not to be polite. It's to beat Fuminori's ass. Every storm shutter is closed, filling the house with gloom, and he can see nothing but pitch-black darkness through the open doors in the hallway. He should have brought his flashlight from the car, he thinks ruefully, then remembers that he dropped the light when Fuminori attacked him, and still lying in the backyard of the cabin in Tochigi. Man, when I read stuff out loud, I'm always like, damn, I could never be like an audiobook person because I keep making mistakes. The house might be empty. Then again, it might not. Each particle of the air seems charged with silent menace. Is this enemy lurking somewhere in the darkness? It's not hard to imagine Fuminori waiting for a chance to take him by surprise and finish off what he failed to do. Oh, what the well failed to do. Koji walks down the first floor hallway, then climbs the stairs and checks the second floor too. He moves slowly and carefully, keeping his senses sharp, but feels nothing watching him from the shadows. After completing his round safely, he's convinced that the house is empty. He suddenly realizes that his right hand is touching the cold steel of the gun in his pocket. Did he intend to draw the weapon upon encountering Fuminori? Yeah, shoot him dead! I'm just like, let's go! Kill him! Now that Koji thinks about it, his own action seems mysterious to him. What is he planning to do when he meets Fuminori? Will he lay into him with curses and epithets? Frick me, man. Epithets? So many. When I read stuff, I feel like I'm stupid because I'm like, what does this word mean? I've never seen it before in my life. I'm a simple person. Will he force him to turn himself in, or will he? Koji shakes his head. This isn't the time for such hopeless questions. If he keeps thinking, he'll stop moving, and if he stops moving, fear will paralyze him forever. His only choice is to keep marching on. He has to close the distance to his prey. In any case, Fuminori isn't home. What form their reunion takes will probably be decided at the moment of their meeting. All Koji has to do is not hesitate when the time comes. Kill him! Still, why does the whole house smell like stagnant water? It's been 3 months since Fuminori distanced himself from his friends. Just what kind of life has he been leading all this time? Maybe just killing people and eating people? Koji enters the living room and feels along the wall for the light switch. The moment he flips it on, the answer to his questions is revealed. What? How far has Fuminori gone? Interior design is my passion. Koji realizes that this is the first time he has encountered Fuminori's insanity in visible form. From the dust piled in the corners of the room, it is clear that the paint was not applied recently. How many nights has Fuminori spent surrounded by this maddening array of color? Why, if such obvious signs are available, why didn't Koji realize that something was wrong before it got this bad? I'm a terrible friend, thinks Koji. Was he deaf to the dying screams of Fuminori's sanity? Was their friendship really so worthless? As he stands petrified in the unfamiliar living room, Koji directs his anger entirely at himself. If he could, he would like nothing more than to apologize to Fuminori for failing to help him through his suffering. See, like, Koji's a nice guy. He, like, even in this situation where, like, Fuminori almost killed him, he almost died, he's still thinking, like, God, I'm a terrible friend. How did I not notice that he was suffering so badly after the car crash and everything? And then it's like, oh man, Fuminori needed therapy. Not that this issue could have been solved through therapy, but you know. Koji feels that he might have been able to save his friend. Perhaps he's arrogant to think so. But if so, is arrogance born from kindness? Koji passes through the living room and opens the sliding door that leads to the kitchen. At least the kitchen looks okay. When he enters, he finds that the most disturbing of the house's many stenches is strongest here. It stinks in here! Blood. The room is redolent with the smell of countless layers of blood grown stale over time. He peers into the well-used sink. Around the rim, he sees faint brownish red blotches that water alone couldn't rinse off. I do think, like, the descriptions in this game are really good, though. Even more obvious are the stains on the dish rag. Such stains are proof that the rag has been used and reused countless times. But what could it have been used on to make that sickening burgundy color? Burgundy. Burgundy. Koji stares at the refrigerator next to the counter, as though it were a monster waiting to swallow him whole. 4? He stands motionless until he's able to work up the courage to simply touch it. Then he steels himself, grabs the thick handle, and opens the door. I'm a little worried. There's probably gonna be like body parts in there. First, he'll check the freezer, then the refrigerator. The freezer is packed with frozen meat of varying shapes and sizes. As each piece is wrapped tightly and frosted over plastic, he can't tell what kind of meat it is. Well, that music's not very inviting. The meat in the refrigerator, however, has already been thawed for consumption. Ah! Ew! Gross. Oh god, there's a hand there! Oh. You can see like veins and stuff. For a while, he can only stare in disbelief at the 5 fingers beckoning to him from the back of the compartment. They are long, slender fingers of a woman, their bluish tinge giving them the appearance of waxworks. Koji is unable to remember what Omi's hands looked like, even though he had kissed her fingers countless times. When he finished crying after his conversation with Fuminori, Koji promised himself that he would not cry again. In fact, he does not. He regrets his decision, however. He indulged himself too early. He should have saved his soothing tears for this moment, for now he knows that truly nothing is sacred. At last, his doubts about Fuminori have been utterly obliterated. Koji pulls Ogai's revolver out of his pocket and wraps his hand around its grip like he would a charm. Is that the friend's hand? That's Omi's hand. So Omi was Koji's girlfriend, and she came over and Saya killed her, and then they ate her. And Fuminori was like, wow, delicious. And she was like, oh my god, I guess I don't have to cook. Its definite presence, its promise of merciful annihilation, is the only thing keeping his sanity intact. He will surely use it to kill Sakisaka Fuminori. Not for revenge, not for justice, but to make this world once more a place governed by reason. For that purpose alone, he must eliminate the anomaly. He breathes deep, exhales, then lifts his hand before his face, stare at his spread fingers. Alright, he's not shaking. He's prepared to face his new objective. Koji sticks the revolver back into his pocket, pulls out his phone. Oh! How do I save? Save. Or should I press this? Oh, okay. Wow, it saved 2 for me. Great, thank you. Well, do I call Fuminori or do I call the hot doctor? What do you guys want to say first? Should I call my bestie? Or should I kill should I call the doctor? I'll let you guys decide which one you want to see first. I won't bother with the poll, just type it in the chat. Polling Fuminori feels like it would be a bad time. Yep. Sounds like it. I want the doctor. I don't know. What feels like it would be the good end for me? The music's a tad loud. Okay, I can turn it down. I know that this song, or this game itself, is always just gonna be like blaringly loud. Alright, is that better? Probably that's a bit better to listen to. Don't remember who the characters are? Hey, that's alright. Alright, whatever, we're gonna call Fuminori, that's option 1. It's time to finish this. We gotta kill him. Just as he promised earlier, Koji calls Fuminori again. I feel like that's a bad decision, but whatever. The call goes through immediately. Fuminori must have been waiting for it. Can I turn the... Where's the config? How do I turn this lower? The voice is louder. That's better. Yeah. That's better. Hey Koji, where are you? What difference does that make? As soon as Koji responds, a shrill ringing fills the house. Startled, Koji spins around and looks into the hallway. Sorry, the timing of that. The timing. It's like, oh, who's calling? Who's calling? It's Komaeda. Hey, thank you. Thank you for what was the alert? I didn't even see what the alert was for. But thank you so much. Whatever that was. Thank you, Nagito Komaeda. I need you right now. The house phone is flashing to signal an incoming call. I see. I figured you'd be at my house. Ooh, cunning. Koji fell for it. Fuminori is the one calling the house, and now he knows exactly where Koji is. He must have predicted that this would be Koji's first stop, and that Koji would call him upon finding it empty. So, I guess you've already seen everything. Ah. Yeah. Koji keeps his voice bold to conceal his horror. When did Fuminori become so cunning? It looks like you've become quite the meat eater since we last met. Just how many people have you killed? Actually, I've only killed one so far, Fuminori replies unapologetically, his tone upbeat. Actually, I only killed one, so like that's not too bad, honestly. You can't call me a serial murderer yet. Oh, never mind. I've taken apart 3 or 4 though. I'm getting pretty good at removing the tendons and draining the blood and such. Koji no longer feels sadness or horror when faced with Fuminori's inhumanity. There's only the cold desire to kill the creature speaking such revolting words with his friend's voice. That's me! Me! I'm gonna be like, kill his ass! You killed Omi, didn't you? You bastard! You were lying when you said you hadn't seen her. I wonder, Fuminori mutters, seeming somehow embarrassed. Oops, teehee, didn't mean to. God damn. I guess the first one I ate might have been Omi. It was the same day she disappeared, come to think of it. The body wasn't in any shape that I could identify. Koji had already abandoned hope, but it's still a shock to hear of his lover's brutal end. Tsukuba too? Ew. No, Fuminori says with an exasperated chuckle. She's here, like I promised. I'm no fool. I need her to trade with you, right? I won't waste her. Let me hear her voice. I don't think that's possible. She's in no shape to talk. Cause she's a blobby now! Fuminori's dismissive words further sharpened Koji's bloodlust. You forgot what I said? If you don't let her go unharmed... How are we supposed to kill him? Come on, be happy that she's still alive. Or would you rather have Yo as a corpse? Let's get... Oh. Damn. Sorry, I gotta talk for a long time. Let's get this straight, Koji. You bring your evidence, along with all the files you've gathered. When I'm satisfied that they're the real thing, I'll hand you over. Why can't I make some copies then? You know? Make some copies at least. Fine. Because I'm stupid right now. It's obvious that this deal is a sham. In all likelihood, Fuminori is planning to kill him and bury his secrets forever. Moreover, Koji doubts that Yo is even alive. Her meat could have very well been somewhere in the refrigerator right in front of him. However, Koji isn't particularly interested in Fuminori's true intentions. After all, he has no intention of making a trade either. His only goal is to get close enough to destroy Fuminori and whatever is pulling his strings. That's right, let's kill him! Where? Stupid idiot, don't go alone. You remember Dr. Ogai's house? The one you followed me to? Let's meet there tonight at 7. Come alone.
Oi!
Hey! Fuminori hangs up without waiting for Koji's response. Perhaps Fuminori, too, has sensed his opponent's intent. If so, then he has realized that Koji is not just the hunted, but the hunter as well. If so, then he has realized that Koji is... Oh, I just read that. So we're like duelists maneuvering for advantage. Koji smiles grimly as he pockets his phone. It's astounding how much their relationship has changed. And I'm still gonna go alone because I'm stupid right now. The question is whether or not... I don't know. Are we reconnected again? OBS just like decided to disconnect for a sec. But I think it's back now. Okay, we're back. You know what? While we're here, because it just disconnected for a bit, OBS did, I have an announcement to make. Next year, we should be better. We should be better. We just started, or I went ahead and, you know, got a new internet plan. Yippee! Hopefully it'll be better than what I have right now. But right now, I have to keep using this for another couple of weeks, I think. But hopefully, after that, I'll be on the new internet, and then we will never have to suffer again. Hopefully. Otherwise, I'm gonna, I will kill the CEO. I will kill the CEO of the internet company. That is a joke. That is not a real threat. I'm just saying. If I change internet providers and it still sucks, what am I supposed to do? Alright, well, let's continue for now. Koji doesn't know what Fuminori plans to do between now and then, but he's not about to let his enemy keep the initiative. In Minecraft, I'll kill them. Can you even kill people in Minecraft? I don't know. I thought only you can just die from, like, enemies. I've never played Minecraft. The fierce bloodlust that has taken root in his heart is more than enough to energize his exhausted body. Koji leaves the death-filled house, his stride more determined than before. You can kill other people in Minecraft? Hey, maybe once I get the new internet, maybe someday I'll check out Minecraft. It's just like as a complete outsider who never has really watched any Minecraft video, I don't understand the appeal of Minecraft. But I'm saying this as someone who's like never checked it out and has never engaged with it. But clearly there must be something there. I get that like maybe people have a lot of fun doing the creative like builds. Yeah, like Lego. I get that aspect. I think that's cool. But Minecraft itself, I don't really understand what the point of Minecraft is. Anyway, today was the first time I've driven since my accident last summer. The preposition was always too dangerous to consider, given my inability to recognize roads and cars. Oh, I'm back to Fuminori. Things have changed, however. In the 3 months, I've had to adapt to my condition. I know what cars and pedestrians look like now, and even though I can't exactly see colors, I've learned to decipher lights and turn signals. I still can't read street signs, of course. Nevertheless, I managed to make it back safely to our destination with Saya and Yo in the back seat. It was Saya who came up with the idea for our new hideout, an abandoned building she discovered while living with Dr. Ogai. Wow, look at that thing. In this hilly suburban residential area, it's not hard to find thick patches of undeveloped forest just off the beaten path. Saya's old playground is located in one such secluded area, unaffected by the flow of everyday life. It used to be a privately owned sanatorium, hidden among the silent trees. However, the owners went bankrupt, and it remained unsold and was eventually forgotten. After I left Saya and Yo at the hideout, I returned to town to make some preparations. Now I'm finally back at our new refuge. Ew. Ugh. So, like, I've never been a gore artist. I think, like, people who can draw gore, that's cool, you know? It's not technically or typically what I want to, like, observe. But I think people who can, like, draw fleshy stuff and gore stuff, I'm like, that's cool. Just maybe not for me. Because since I was young, I told my parents, I was like, I'm never becoming a doctor. I don't want to look at people's organs, you know? That, like, freaks me out. I'm doing better with it now. I feel like medically, if it's, like, a medical, you know, depiction of, organs and body stuff, I'm like, okay, I can see it through that context. But, like, this is to a point where it's so exaggerated where I'm like, okay, this isn't real, you know? So I'm okay with it. But gore and stuff like that, I'm still not like, I won't seek it out, is what I'm saying. I liked this ruin from the moment I saw it. Mountains of construction materials and garbage litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. This place looks even less likely to receive unwanted attention than our house. Since my brain sees humans as revolting monsters, places they've been tend to stink or seem covered in filthy slime. Ruins like these, long empty of life, are the places I find the most restful.
Tadaima.
I'm back. I call out to let them know I'm not a stranger. Then I go down to the basement where they're hiding. Welcome back. Are you okay with the car? Okay, again, Saya, your fringe is dreadful. You got a big ass forehead, and that one gap in your fringe makes your hairline seem like it starts really high up. I'm gonna roast you.
もう全然問題ない。一方通行の標識もどういうのか分かったし。
Five head, literally.
スピードさえ出さなければどこを走っても大丈夫だよ。
It was no problem at all.
で、そっちは
I figured out how to tell which roads are one way. As long as I keep my speed down, there's nothing to worry about. So how are things here? It looks better in this sprite. Her brain is giant. I took a look around, as I thought there's no sign of anyone that's been here since I found the place. It's safe.
そうか。ならいいんだけど。
I see. Let's hope it stays that way. I'm a little worried that this abandoned building could become a hangout for biker gangs or homeless people.
多分表に積み上げてあるゴミのせい。あれ普通の人間にはちょっと耐えられないんじゃないかな。
It's probably because of all the trash piled out front. Most people won't get anywhere near that, don't you think? I guess. I like her hair. I mean, I see the like little wings that like come off of the side of her hair, the little tufts of hair that stick outwards. I have an OC that has like hair like that, so I like her hairstyle. I just think it's really funny that one of her fringe, like there's a gap in her fringe that makes it her forehead look gigantic. It doesn't bother me at all. I rather like it, in fact, but of course normal people would feel differently.
で、ふみのりの買い物はいいの見つかった？
So how was your shopping? Did you find something good?
ああ、もちろん。
I sure did. Check out this weapon that I got. Oh, sweet. Oh god, it's got like eyeballs on it. I proudly unwrapped the weapon I had just brought from a camping goods store. A 1 meter long wood axe. The biggest and sturdiest I could find. Check it out.
刃渡り15センチ以上のナイフは銃刀法違反だなって張り紙してあるのに、その隣でこんなもの売ってるんだよ。お笑いだよね。
I like how this was right next to a sign saying that long knives are illegal. I thought you couldn't read! I thought he couldn't read! He's like, I can't read street signs. What the? There's plot hole! He's like, oh yeah, the sign. Oopsie. Seems like you could do way more damage with one of these. I grip the axe with both hands, testing its dependable weight, then swing it like a baseball bat. The deadly steel blade sweeps through the air right where the person's neck would be. Yo, who is sprawled out on the floor, flinches at the sound and curls herself into a ball.
切れ味とかどう？用で試してみたら？
Hey, out of context, I love your art. Thank you, Mushi. Thank you very much. Oh man, you know, I wanted to make a video about Miku before the year ended. And I have not worked on that for a month now because like it was really bumming me out because it was not going in a place where I was hoping it would go. And I got really angry at myself for not being able to complete it. And so I took a break from it, and I've taken a break from it for like a month now. And I'm just like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll try again next year. So that's my thought process right now. But thank you for liking my art and stuff. Oh man, YouTube is hard. I do hope that I get to stream more next year though. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I can, but if I can, then maybe January I would like to start Ace Attorney. But I'm not sure yet. So no promises yet. But I would like to if I can. Otherwise, in February, I would like to play Catherine. Because I thought, you know, February is about Valentine's Day and whatever. I should play a game that revolves around love. Ooh, Catherine. So, that's my plan, currently. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah, I was really feeling stressed about it. I don't know, I'm not really good at, scripting videos, I think. That's something that I need to improve on, because I was making the script way too long, to the point where I was like, is anyone gonna watch this? And not that, like, you should make videos and stuff just because you think there will be an audience for it. I do think, like, even if I just made it for myself, I would be happy with it, because it's, like, personal to me. But at the same time, I'm also like, I also would like to make stuff that people want to watch. So, I don't know. I'll see what happens with the video. But right now, I'm just not giving myself, like, a strict deadline. I don't want to, like, stress myself out by not reaching deadlines. Because this is for fun anyway. You should play a dating simulator game for February. Yeah, that's why I want to play Catherine. I want to play Catherine because, again, I'm not really good at puzzles. And, like, Catherine is, all its gameplay is, like, puzzle gameplay. So hopefully I'll be okay. And if I suck, well, I'll play the easy mode. Also, if you guys watch the Project Eden's Garden streams, I feel like I should never play Toho Project. I don't think bullet hells are my games. Anyway, let's keep going. Saya, did you just say that?
How sharp is it? Want to test it on Yo?
You are terrible.
いや、それはちょっと。
I don't think that's a good idea. I definitely wasn't expecting Saya to suggest something so brutal. That's rich coming from you, Fuminori.
She's like, why don't you just kill you, huh?
今のようの体だったら刃物とかの傷は割と簡単に治っちゃうから。
I don't want Fuminori developing another kink of like dismembering people. Thank you, Saya.
You don't need to worry. Your body can heal pretty easily from cuts and stuff.
いや、それにしたって痛いだろ。
But I'm sure it'll hurt.
そっか。うん、そうだね。
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right.
Saya's evil. It must have slipped her mind completely. She smiles at the oblivious Yo as if to hide her embarrassment, then says,
でもさ、痛くされた時のようの声って、それはそれで可愛いよね。
But your screams are pretty adorable, don't you think?
You are monster.
やっぱり人間に斧で切りかかるってのは気が引けるよ。
Please play Catherine on easy mode. Hey! Well, don't tell me first, you know? I'll play it on the most difficult mode first, and then if I really struggle, we'll go down the levels to make it easier. I watched the VOD and the bullet hell, no joke, took 50. It took 53 minutes, that whole section. I'm so glad Sweden was there watching to help me change the difficulty. I feel so bad for other people who were playing on Mean and did not have Sweden able to like give you a file adjustment, because that's something that they should probably, you know, do. Do you want to change the difficulty of your game right now before you go into the bullet hell? Well, I just wouldn't feel right using an axe on a human.
But you're gonna use it on your friend, Kochi. That's stupid, Fuminori. You should just kill everybody.
そうなの？じゃあ、コウジさんは？
I knew it.
Really? Then what about Kochi?
そりゃだって。
That's easy. It should be obvious, but I guess Saya still doesn't understand.
奴は僕には人間に見えないから、切ろうが潰そうが平気なもんさ。
I don't see him as human. I'll have no trouble cutting him to pieces.
そんなに違うんだ。
That really makes a difference?
そうさ。人間には良心があるからね。
You're telling that to Saya, who's not human. Yeah, humans have a conscience, you see.
どんなに憎い人間だろうと、人を殺すと思うとブレーキがかかるもんだ。そこが僕の称賛でもある。
No matter how much you hate someone, you can't help but think twice about killing them. And that's how I'll win.
本当に？
Really?
Sai seems awfully subdued. I guess she's concerned about what will happen if I have it out with Koji.
体格じゃあいつが上だし、普通に喧嘩したんじゃ勝ち目は薄いかもしれないけどね。
He's bigger and stronger, so I might not have much of a chance against him in a straight-up fight.
でも、僕にとっての化け物退治が、あいつにとっては人殺しなんだ。こいつは大きいよ。あいつはきっと、最後の瞬間で隙を見せる。
But that's just slaying a monster to me. What? But what's just slaying a monster to me is murder to him. This is big. He'll definitely hesitate when it counts. I'm trusting my bestie to hesitate before he kills me.
なんだか不安なんだよね。そういう心理戦っていうの、確実じゃないっていうか。
I'm a little worried.
Sai says softly, staring at the floor with unusual gravity.
You can never be sure how someone will react. It's dangerous to rely on that.
Every time I look at Sai's artwork... Oh, thank you! Thank you so much for subscribing! Oh, by the way, I do have to mention, or I don't have to mention, but I might as well mention, if you are interested in getting, maybe not sayanouta, but but maybe another game from the Jazz USA store, you can sign up with my affiliate link and use my code for 15% off any of the games on their website. They're currently also having like a Christmas sale until like January 3rd, so you can also stack my discount code on top of it. So if like a game's like 20% off, you can stack another 15% off. It's pretty good. So hey, if you're interested in any like schmexy sexy games from Jazz USA, I do have I believe I have it in like the first line of my description on this stream, so you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, basically you just have to make a new account on Jazz USA using my link, and then at checkout use khee for 15% off, which is pretty good. Do I have any recommendations? Dramatical Murder. I really enjoyed Dramatical Murder. It was silly and fun and like wacky. There's a lot of oh, like Steins Gate. Steins Gate's on Jazz USA if you want something that's like not this. There's I heard that like another game by Nitroplus, so Dramatical Murders company, they did a game that also has like I think a similar premise to sayanouta. I think it's called Sweet Pool. So yeah, hey, if you like, can I get more sayanouta but yaoi? Go check out Sweet Pool. There's also another game which I have from Jazz USA. That's about Supersonico, and it's about being her cameraman. And I want to play that on stream sometime. I want to be Supersonico's cameraman. But yeah, there's like a whole bunch of games on Jazz USA. If you're interested in that, go check it out and yeah, get yourself a deal. So I guess with like affiliate links, I'll just be upfront. Like I do get like a commission for any sales that I get made. It's like, I don't know, what is it, like 10% of someone's sale? It's not that much, but still, that's pretty cool. For some reason, I don't know who like spread my information around, but like over like on the first of like December, somebody like shared it, I don't know where, and like 50 people signed up with my affiliate link, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? Oh, hey Mary, hi. Hey Mary, do you want to like introduce yourself to the chat? So as far as I know, Mary, you work for Jazz USA, right? You could like promote Jazz USA right now. Urobuchi produced Sweet Pool as well? Alright, well maybe I'll check that out at some point. I don't have the game. But maybe I'll check it out at some point. Maybe I'll enjoy it more than sayanouta. Maybe it'll be more messy and like up my alley. By the way, thanks Mary for coming to the stream. Didn't think you would be here. I feel like we've never really talked before, Mary, but I know that you followed me and I followed you back, and it's really funny when I post Kawaida and then you retweet me. And I'm like, we are the same. She raises her head and looks straight at me.
ねえ、やっぱり私が買った方が良くない？
Don't you think it'd be better if I hadn't him?
I appreciate Saya's consideration. Even though it could be interpreted as a lack of faith in me, she's still putting my safety above hers. Nevertheless, I can't accept that her heartfelt suggestion.
サヤの腕力だとさ、ヨウみたいな女の子なら楽にねじ伏せられるだろうけど、男を相手には厳しいと思うんだ。
With your strength, you might be able to overpower a girl like Yo, but I think it'd be hard for you to take down a guy. Fuminori, she's literally a monster. Oh my god. The bitter memory of Saya is still fresh in my mind. Saya that's another thing. I'm like, Saya, you definitely could have killed that man. I definitely think you could have done it. And yet she did it. Thanks, Urobuchi. Seeming to understand what I'm thinking, but then comes right back to stubbornly press her case.
でもね、あのおじさんも最初の不意打ちはうまくいったの。大抵の人間はね、作用を見たら力が抜けて動けなくなっちゃうんだよ。
My first attack went fine though. Most humans go limp as soon as they see me.
病院だってそうだった。平気で話しかけてきたのって文則だけだよ。
It was the same in the hospital. You were the only one who could talk to me.
まあ、それも一理あるかもな。
I like how casual we are talking about planning to murder our friend. I guess you have a point. I can't imagine it personally, but I suppose it's possible that Saya's appearance is shocking enough to make someone lose their nerves. Suzumi was able to gain the advantage because she had the same condition as me, which let him see Saya as a cute girl. Fear doesn't necessarily make people weaker, however. Depending on the situation, it could even send someone into a berserk rage and make them harder to put down. In other words, such a tactic would be the same sort of gamble that Saya's worried about.
じゃあさ、さや、こういうのはどうだろうか。
Alright, Saya, how about this? Let's work together and kill him. When I tell Saya the new plan that just popped into my head, her gloomy frown turns into a bright smile. Yay, murder!
それめやん。文則って頭いい。
Okay, that was a cute line.
That's perfect. You're so smart, Fuminori.
何もそこまで。
Oh, stop, Saya. It's not exactly a great plan, but I guess the fact that it lessens the risk to me is enough to excite her. So, she's so easy to please, but that's part of what makes her so cute. Ew.
で、いつ頃来るの？コウジさん。
So when Koji's coming? When's
今朝あれから
Koji
電話があ
coming?
ってさ。
Break me.
とりあえず
I got a call
関
from
係
him
ない
this
場所に
morning.
誘い出してある。少しじらしてやろうと思ってね。
For now, I've sent him on a wild goose chase. I'm thinking I should shake him up a little.
やっぱり暗くなってからがいいよね。
It'd be best to take care of him after it's dark, don't you think?
ああ。頃合いを見計らって、ここに誘い出して仕留めよう。ここなら誰にも気づかれないからね。
Fuminori must stink, right? I'm just saying, Fuminori must stink like ass right now. Do you think when he went to the shopping center, or like when he went to buy the axe, people were like, oh my god, what the frick is wrong with him? Yeah, when the time is right, I'll lure him here and fish him. We won't have to worry about witnesses here.
せ
He's
っかく
zesty.
人間一人分の肉が仕入れられるのに、ここだと腐らせちゃうね。冷蔵庫ないし。
We're finally gonna get more human meat. Too bad it's just gonna rot without a refrigerator.
他の動物を誘う餌にできないか？野良猫とかカラスをおびき寄せてさ。
No! The animals! Why don't we use it to trap other animals? It could be bait for stray cats or crows.
それ危ないよ。万が一取り逃した時、よそに持っていかれて他人に見つかったら大騒ぎになるよ。
Can we have more of this? Fuminori and Saya just like planning their evil plans. Like it's nice in a way to see them actually have conversations outside of just wanting to have sex.
It's too dangerous. If an animal gets away with the meat, someone might find it and wonder where it came from.
そっか。
Good point. You're so smart, Saya. Humans are extremely dangerous, and their filthy, stinking bodies make me sick just by being nearby. Ironically, however, nothing tastes better than their meat. I truly regret having to abandon our well-stocked fridge.
まあ、この辺だと森にもいろいろと住んでるから、そんなに食事には困らないんじゃないかな。
The forest around here is full of animals. I don't think we'll have any trouble finding food.
3人分だよ。大丈夫かい？
We have 3 mouths to feed. Are you sure?
She's gonna be like, we don't have to feed yo.
任せて。これでもさや、狩りは得意なんだから。頑張っていっぱい捕まえてくるよ。
I also feel so bad because every time I look at this Saya sprite, I just can't help but notice how tiny her arm is. Like a little wiggly noodle arm.
Leave it to me. I may not look it, but I'm a pretty good hunter. I'll be sure to keep us well fed.
そうか。
Look at my tiny
Ja,
little
今日
limpy
からさや
arms.
が一家の大黒柱だな。
Okay, looks like you're gonna be the breadwinner of this family.
へへ
It's better in this sprite. Saya giggles happily at my praise. I find these childish qualities of her adorable. Ew.
今度はどのぐらいのんびりできるかな。
I wonder how long we'll be able to relax this time.
Because of the casual way she says it, I almost miss the emptiness to which her question leads.
どのぐらいかな。
Yeah. Saya's right. This won't last forever. No matter how safe this hideout might seem, we'll have to abandon it eventually. The slightest mistake could put our life together in jeopardy, just like when I failed to silence Koji. Some dumb kids might decide that this old ruin is a good place to test their courage, or this land might be targeted for new development. In order to be together with Saya, I've chosen to live apart from society. We will never find lasting peace in this world teeming with humans. Not unless we can somehow escape from it. Ugh, humankind. Hate them.
長い旅だと思えばいいさ。
I think of it as going on a journey. Just the two of us. Let's go to Antarctica. We could go live with the animals on the ice. No one will find us there. I pull Saya into my arms, then fold my hands around her slender shoulders, then whisper.
どうせ人生なんて旅みたいなものなんだ。永遠に変わらない場所なんてない。
Life is like a journey anyway. Nothing stays the same forever.
時の流れを見送るか、自分自身が流れていくか、それだけの違いだよ。
The only difference is whether time passes you by or sweeps you up in its flow.
そうだよね。
I guess you're right. What would I know? I'm not human.
Saya smiles softly, perhaps in resignation, perhaps in sadness. Either way, there is peace and contentment in her expression.
それでも一人ぼっちじゃないし。だからさやは寂しくなんかないよ。ふみのりも
Oh, frick me.
そうだよね。
But we'll be together, so I'm not lonely. You're not lonely either, are you?
Yeah, I'm not lonely with you, baby girl. Let's go. Sex one more time.
あ、
No. I have no regrets. As long as I can hold Saya in my arms, I would gladly pay any price.
それにね
Now、let's do it, girl.
And besides,
She adds brightly, trying to cheer me up.
いつかは私たちが人目を忍んで暮らさなくてもよくなる日がきっと来るよ。
one
それ
day
は約束してあげるから。
we won't have to hide anymore. I can promise you that.
It sounds like a fairy tale, but for some reason, she seems absolutely certain.
それは明日かもしれないし、ずっと先のことかもしれない。
That day might be tomorrow, or it might be far off in the future.
いつ印が来るのか私にもわからないの。
What?
初めてのことだから。
It's my first time, so even I don't know when the sign will come.
First time for what?
ほんのちょっぴり怖いんだけどね。
I'm a little scared.
I have no idea what Saya's prophetic words mean, but this isn't the first time that she's said or done something mysterious. She's performed any number of miracles already.
僕らにも希望があるのかい。
So there's hope for us too?
Yeah,
She says with a cheerful nod.
きっとそれがさやが文則に送ってあげられる最後のプレゼント。さやの最初で最後の務め。
What is she talking about?
it'll be my last present to you, Fuminori. My first and final duty.
What is she talking about? Anyway, back to this. Koji has nothing to do but wait. He has spent almost half a day in the dark, empty study, breathing stale air choked with mold as he strains his ear for the slightest hint of movement below. Few people could endure such a vigil, but Koji has accomplished it without a complaint. If anything, the suffering is welcome, for it keeps his nerves honed to a razor's edge. Without a doubt, his single-minded focus is the only thing allowing him to push the limits of his stamina. Koji understands this and embraces the pain. I could get some painkillers, but... His closest friend has shattered his world like glass, and now Koji feels only hate towards the madness that it has replaced, and towards himself for allowing it to happen. Self-loathing is a more reliable source of willpower than any faith or resolve, no matter how noble. When he arrived at the Ogai house, Koji snuck in carefully, hoping to perhaps take his enemy by surprise. It was only after he got inside that he realized the house was still abandoned. Even so, Koji was sure that Fuminori would arrive earlier than promised in order to set up an ambush. However, the light streaming through the windows turned red, then faded into darkness, with no sign of anyone coming. Koji's patience had grown weaker and weaker by the moment. He lied, and now the appointed time has arrived. Just as Koji's frustration is about to peak, his phone begins to vibrate and flash. It's from Fuminori. He's calling rather than show up himself. Rage threatens to overwhelm him for an instant, but Koji manages to keep his voice calm as he answers.
どういうつもりだ、Fuminori?
Can I just have melon? I'm not that hungry. Thank you! Sorry, that was my sister. What's going on here, Fuminori?
いいよね。まさか待ち伏せなんていう無駄なことをして神経すり減らしてないか。お前のことが心配になってさ。
Well, I was worried that you might be wasting energy on something silly, like planning an ambush, Fuminori says, chuckling scornfully.
遅くなったが、そろそろ本当の待ち合わせ場所を教えておかなくちゃと思ってさ。間に合ったかい?
Teehee, did I tell you the wrong place? That was totally my bad. It's kind of late, but I guess I should tell you the real meeting place before you lose your mind. Did I make it in time?
ふざけたまねよ。
Son of a bitch.
まあ怒るなよ。当然の用心だろ。
Come on, don't get mad. I'm just being careful, right? Fuminori laughs with unrestrained malevolence, as though to emphasize that he's seen through Koji's plans.
お前が大貝教授の家まで来てるんなら、そこからほんの少し先、歩いて行ける距離の場所だよ。
Assuming you're at Dr. Ogai's house, there's a place nearby, within walking distance. Yo and I are there.
まずは車に戻ってカーナビを見ろ。どこの番地教えてやるから。
I'll give you the address. You should be able to find it on your car's GPS.
今度こそ信用できるっていう保証は。
You have proof this isn't another trick?
疑わしければ来なくていい。尻尾を巻いて逃げるがいいさ。
If you're that paranoid, you don't have to come. Just turn tail and run. Yippee! Melon! Thank you! Fuminori hangs up immediately after speaking his challenge. Koji leaps out of his chair, kicks it across the room, unable to find any other outlet for his rage. Grrr! He has no choice but to do what Fuminori says. His stamina is already exhausted. Only his obsession is keeping him going. If he allows himself even a moment's rest, he fears that he'll never again find the strength to face this madness. Tonight is his only chance to kill Fuminori. Koji knows, of course, that his enemy is planning to ambush him. Fuminori isn't going to fight fair, but then neither is Koji. I feel like Koji's gonna die. With the unsteady stride of the man half asleep, Koji leaves the Ogai house and heads for his car. Only the base of these foothills have been developed for housing. The address Fuminori gave Koji is outside of that area, in the thick forest that still covers the mountain face. His car's GPS shows a road that leads nowhere, but according to Fuminori, there should be an old abandoned sanatorium there. It's definitely a place that no one could find, not even by accident. Maybe this next stop will really be the last. Koji drives up the steep incline, soon leaving the residential neighborhood behind. Even though the hands of progress are right at its doorstep, the undeveloped forest is darker than he expected. This looks like a great place to live in secret, or to kill someone and hide the body. Places like this, lost and forgotten, aren't found only in deep jungles and hidden valleys. Holes in the worlds are everywhere, even in the midst of civilization. Oh. A broken down gatepost suddenly appears in Koji's headlights, like a ghost rising from the darkness. It looks like this is the final stop. He rolls up to the gate and turns off the engine, giving himself to the silence of the forest. His phone starts ringing almost immediately. He doesn't need to check who it's from.
着いたぞ。
I'm here.
ああ、聞こえてた。ようこそ我が新居へ。
Yokoso. Yeah, I heard you. Welcome to my new home. Fuminori is nearby, close enough to hear the sound of the engine. A shiver of excitement shoots up Koji's spine.
中に入ってこいよ。ようも待ってる。
Come inside. Yo's waiting. Fuminori hangs up without another word. After grabbing his new flashlight from the glove compartment and checking that the revolver is still in his pocket. How many bullets do I have? Koji opens the door and gets out of the car. Would really suck if I only have one bullet. Mountains of trash litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. Koji sees everything from small refrigerators to mopeds to huge chunks of concrete and plaster that must have been abandoned by construction workers. The fact that they could get away with While it's connecting, I'm gonna eat some melon. Oh, I think we're back. Whoa! Oh, look at the screen. Oh! There we go. Every time it does that. I've never seen anyone else's stream ever do that before. What's wrong with mine? Anyway. How many times now has he stood like this, alone in some ominously silent place far removed from his everyday life? Sneaking into deathly quiet houses to find traces of unimaginable happenings has become as normal as going to class. The houses that he explored before were like freshly shed cicada shells, empty and dilapidated, but with traces of the life they had sheltered. This place, however, is different. A perfect ruin, its walls and pillars rising from the dark forest like an army of ghosts, with no sign at all that people once lived and worked here. Again, this game is good with its descriptions of stuff. I like it. I'm just, like, personally, the sexual content in this game is not, my taste. The structure resembles a skeleton more than a shell. Time and the elements have stripped it of its former shape, and now there's only death. Only death. That's a good line. Koji has gone as far as he can. This must be the final stop. What will Fuminori's next move be? He must be planning to kill Koji. But how? Just as he's about to turn on his flashlight, Koji reconsiders. If he wanders about with the light on, he'll be broadcasting his exact location. That will give the advantage to Fuminori, who's probably lying in wait for him right now. I don't think it'll be anyone's taste, hopefully. Well, we say that, and yet this game was made with a particular audience in mind, wasn't it? I'm just saying. Now, ready to fire when he turns on the light, Koji steps quietly into the dark room and, like, again, I don't think sayanouta should be anyone's, like, favorite story for its sexual content, but I can see the merit in enjoying the concept of it as like a horror. So that's the angle I'll appreciate it at. Because I like the idea. I like the idea that you know, you see the world as a fleshy thing. Maybe I haven't been corrupted enough. But you know what? Actually, this is maybe not a bad thing. to not personally enjoy this. Now ready to fire when he turns on the light, Koji steps quietly into the dark ruin. It takes a while for his eyes to adjust, but even when they do, he has only moonlight streaming through the empty windows to guide him. Everything appears grey and indistinct. However, Fuminori has to deal with the same conditions if he's hiding here. This is a battle of nerves, exhausting and deadly, where the first to make a sound and give away his position will lose. The rooms on both sides of the hallways are all open. Some are even missing their doors. Koji creeps up to each entrance, checks to make sure no one's inside, then carefully proceeds on. The stink that he noticed in the garden has changed. Now it smells more organic, like rotting meat. It's the exact same smell that filled Fuminori's house. Ew, squish! Koji freezes and stares down the hole. It has a wet sound that he heard just now, like someone dragging their feet through a swamp. It came from the room at the end of the hole. Something is there. Something alive. Koji creeps toward the sound, his light and gun at the ready. Ew, I don't like the sounds. This is not the ASMR I want. I should mention, I'm not exactly a fan of ASMR. I don't get it. Squish, squish. Now it sounds like someone squeezing mud through their fingers, and as he gets closer, Koji begins to hear breathing. Could it be Fuminori? No, that's impossible. He should be waiting for a chance to ambush Koji, not making careless noise. As he proceeds, the strange sound coming through the cracks in the concrete walls grow clearer. Oh, it's Yo, isn't it? Before he knows it, he's standing on the threshold. The room is filled with a thick, viscous darkness. Thick! Like every other room that he's passed. There's more than just darkness, however. Something is there. He can hear pained breathing, like that of a wounded animal, and what sounds like sobbing. Sobbing?
誰だ?
Who's there? Koji whispers into the darkness. Now that he's given away his position, he might as well turn on his light. For some reason, however, Koji feels that to do so would have disastrous consequences. The last time I heard her voice on the phone, she was sobbing. The wheezing suddenly stops. And then...
Koji!
A whisper comes out of the darkness, though not a human voice, not by any measure. It speaks some blasphemous semblance of human words. A nightmarish flash of insight connects the dots in Koji's mind.
つくば?
It can't be. Yo doesn't sound like this. She doesn't smell like this.
Koji! お願い。殺して。
But if it's not Yo, then how does it know it's his name? Why is it begging him for help? No, it can't be Yo. She's human, not some creature that slithers and hides in the shadows.
苦しい。この体。
Oh dear. Oh my god, can I even kill her? Like, because Saya's like, oh, she heals pretty quickly. So, like, what if I'm just, like, I don't know, shooting her and she just, like, doesn't die? She can't die. Like, you can just try killing her over and over again and she just doesn't die. No! The thing wriggles closer. His reason cries out, imploring him to switch the light on before it's too late, or to turn and run if he cannot. But Koji is unable to make either choice. He can only call out in vain to the amorphous shape in the darkness.
つくばなのか直江まさかつくばなのか
Is it you, Tsukuba? Is it really you?
すいません。お願い。殺して。
I don't want this noise in my ears. Something soft and slimy slides over Koji's toes. Ew! Instinct overrides his will, forcing him to turn his light and shine it at his feet. The white beam reveals everything, the merciless truth that finally shatters Koji's sanity. Oh, we don't get to see her. Does he have no shoes on or something? Yeah, like, why over his toes, huh? Terror wipes his mind of all but two words. Gun and trigger. His fingers respond with instant obedience. There's an explosion of light and sound, both more intense than he anticipated, and then the destructive forces are swallowed up by the darkness. His ears are still ringing from the bang, but he hears a weak voice coming from the shadows. Koji screams and pulls the trigger again and again, certain that salvation can only come from the barrel of his gun. Oh no! Oh, my bullets! My bullets! Light and darkness, explosion and silence. They dance before him 3 more times. Koji doesn't even need to aim. The horrible creature is right at his feet, far too close to miss. Ryoko warned him how many bullets were left in the gun, but that information has already been driven from his mind. Oh no, I have no bullets! My bullets! I'm dead. Even after the cold, heavy gloom wraps itself around him once more, Koji keeps pulling the trigger like a man possessed, paying no heed to the clicking of the empty weapon. His panic-stricken legs suddenly give out, setting him down hard on his backside. Even then, he keeps firing the empty gun. He knows no other way to erase the memory of the thing that he glimpsed in the beam of his flashlight. The light, which fell from his hand during the attack, is now pointing in a different direction, and although all 4 bullets must have hit their target, they were Koji's last card to play. Which leaves him alone in the darkness, with no way to defend himself, just as he realizes this. Ah! A mass of rotting flesh rolls over him like a tidal wave. Ah! Well, that's probably what Saya looks like, you know? He can no longer even scream as the thing pushes him onto his back. With fear seizing his throat in an iron grip, Koji struggles desperately against the monster as it crawls up his body towards his face. Covering his face with his left hand, he scrabbles wildly along the floor with his right, searching for a way out that doesn't exist. His mind is that of a feral animal, empty of everything but primal terror. And that is why, when his right hand closes around something hard at the last moment, he recognizes it instinctively as a weapon. Putting every ounce of strength into his arm, Koji swings the heavy object at the creature on top of him. Is that the axe? Why would I have the axe right now? Why wouldn't Fuminori take the axe? Unless this is something else. He hears a thud of a blunt object striking something soft and wet. And then Koji's attacker rolls off him. As soon as he's able to move again, Koji leaps to his feet and grabs his new weapon with both hands, brandishing it like a charm to ward off evil. Only now does he realize that he's holding a rusty steel pipe. Oh, a steel pipe, okay. The monster is still sobbing. Ah! With a cry that is part scream, part roar, Koji raises the steel pipe and brings it crashing down on the cowering creature. He hears a wet sound and feels the blood-chilling sensation of its thick, soft flesh absorbing the blow. These combine to evoke an instinctive loathing that wipes his mind of all but the urge to destroy. Hell! Die, yo, die! Consumed by the same desperation with which he kept firing the empty gun, Koji rains blow after blow on his enemy. After the 10th blow, it stops sobbing. After the 20th blow, it stops moving. And after the 30th blow, it begins to feel and sound more and more like he's beating a puddle of viscous liquid. Koji doesn't stop thrashing the creature until he recovers enough of his senses to realize that whatever it might have been before is now nothing but a corpse. R.I.P. Anyway, I'm probably gonna die soon too. The pipe in his hand, covered with unidentifiable fluids and filth, suddenly feels unbearably heavy. 20 years of memories, the light of the sun. If they were indeed precious to him, then he should have never come to this place. Black flames of despair rise within him, consuming fear and revulsion and pity. Only rage and hate remain. Every cell in his body cries out for vengeance, for the blood of the man who poisoned him with truth and tore him from the womb of innocence. And then Koji, slave to hate, hears the sound of someone sneaking up behind him. Hey, it's me, Fuminori, your bestie. You're gonna die now. Koji whirls, swinging his pipe with all the force he can muster. His enemy hastily leaps back to avoid the strike. Surprised by his failure to catch Koji off guard, twisted shadows dance in the beams of the light of the floor. Readying his pipe for the next blow, Koji faces off against his second attacker.
Sakisaka. Fuminori.
Before this moment, Koji could have never imagined that he would ever speak his friend's name with such hatred.
Oi, oi.
Hey, look at me! I got a big axe! Axe! Look at that! Hey, that was a pretty heavy swing just now. You trying to kill me or something? Even now, Fuminori is smiling, as though the huge axe in his hands is just a sick joke.
参ったな。正直なとこ、お前はもう少し迷うもんだと思ってたんだけど。
Damn, Koji. I thought you'd hesitate.
迷うだと？俺が？貴様に？
You thought I'd hesitate? Against you? Koji sneers too, unable to contain his contempt for the notion.
貴様、近江をどうした？筑波に一体何をした？それを考えてもまだ俺が貴様を殺すのに迷うだと。
How did you kill Omi, you piece of shit? What did you do to Tsukuba? After all this, you expect me to think twice about killing you?
そいつは言いがかりのつけ方が逆だろ、コウジ。
That's my line, Koji. Fuminori growls, looking sadly at the pile of dead flesh at Koji's feet.
コウジの分際で僕の世をひどい目に遭わせやがって。世の10倍は痛めつけてから殺してやる。
Yo, this is what I want. Fight, fight, fight. But I'm probably gonna die. But fight, fight, fight. How could you do such a horrible thing to Yo? I'll make sure you suffer before I kill you. Yeah! The blade of Fuminori's axe carves as a murderous arc through the darkness, glittering menacingly in the light, the faint light coming from the floor. Koji raises his pipe to block the ferocious swing. The heavy impact numbs his arms, but his large frame takes the blow without giving any ground. This is what we've been waiting for! Woo! Fuminori presses the attack, delivering a second blow, and a third. His axe, designed for chopping down trees, is deadlier and more durable than the piece of pipe Koji found discarded on the floor. Each strike Koji blocks sends chunks of rust flying from his makeshift weapon. He can't win as long as he's on the defensive. He needs to create an opportunity to attack.
Come on!
Bastard! Koji blocks a crushing downward swing, then pushes back hard before Fuminori can pull away, throwing him off balance. Fuminori stumbles backward, then plants his feet to steady himself. Taking advantage of his opponent's temporary immobility, Koji delivers a punishing low kick to Fuminori's outer thigh. Hiya! Gah! Fuminori grunts and retreats, swinging his axe wildly to prevent Koji from following up with another attack. Koji, however, does not press his advantage. He just stands where he is, calmly spearing Fuminori with a stare.
お前、喧嘩に慣れてねえな。
You've never been in a fight, have you? Ah! Fuminori rolls and comes in for another attack, but the damage to his right leg seems to be slowing his swing. Easily blocking the axe with his pipe, Koji waits for Fuminori to exhaust himself. Get his ass! Die! Die! Fuminori delivers a blow after heavy blow, howling savagely at all the while. What he does not realize, however, is that the situation now favors composure, not brute force. When Fuminori raises the axe high for yet another attack, Koji sees that his movements have grown dull enough. Seizing the opportunity, Koji charges into Fuminori's range and grabs the haft of the axe with his left hand. The shaft of the axe, maybe? The haft? What? As Fuminori recoils in fear, Koji swings his pipe hard at his enemy's unprotected side. Hiya! Get him! Oh god, he feels the crunch of ribs breaking. The pain drives Fuminori to his knees. Staring down at Fuminori's defenseless head, Koji, surprised by his own lack of motion, raises his pipe high to deliver the finishing blow. Kill him! Uh-oh. Which is when something wraps itself around his left ankle! What? The instant Koji panics at an unexpected sensation, something soft yet strong winds itself around his right leg and drags him to the floor before he can resist. He twists his body and tries to swing the pipe at the unseen enemy behind him, but his right hand too is seized by the same flexible force. He wasn't able to feel through his pants. What? He wasn't able to feel it through his pants, but now I was like, huh? But now his blood turns to ice as the cold, slimy sensation of the thing wrapped around his uncovered wrist. That monster's still alive? This is probably Saya.
いいぞ、Saya.
Saya. Fuminori says encouragingly. Even while kneeling on the floor, his face twisted in pain, he manages a terrible, victorious grin. Saya. This monster is Saya. Koji struggles desperately to free his limbs from the creature's slimy grip, but the more tentacles swarm over his body, stealing his freedom of movement. The horror has already driven Koji half mad. Just imagining the creature's appearance is enough to send him into a mindless panic. His scream is suddenly cut off as a slimy appendage seizes his throat. This most deadly tentacle isn't just cutting off his windpipe, it's trying to snap his neck. And it's getting tighter. Ah! Well, I think Koji just died. My mind hazy from the pain. I watch as Saya feasts upon her slain prey. Oh, she's so hot when she eats people. We've won. It was hard. I wasn't able to do it alone. But together, we have defeated our enemy. The price was steep. At least 2 of my ribs are broken. sending a sharp pain shooting through my chest every time I breathe. And then there's Yo. I didn't expect her to fall to Koji so easily. I suppose that, unlike Saya, she might have been unfamiliar with how to use her new body in combat. My injury must have fueled Saya's anger. Her slaughter of Koji was merciless and complete. As soon as her prey stopped moving, she sank her teeth into its vital organs and ruthlessly extinguished the last embers of life. Oh, it was so hot and sexy. Though her brutal, grisly actions were unbecoming of her girlish appearance, Saya's face, covered in blood and gore, was that of a victorious queen of beasts lording over her defeated foe. There was something noble and sacred about her primal ferocity that made me reluctant to disturb her. I don't know how long I've been sitting here watching Saya feast. I nearly fainted from the pain several times. To be honest, I'm not used to violence. Teehee. I'm not used to violence. I'm not a violent guy, guys, but it had to be done. The wounds I suffered in the car accident were worse, of course, but these broken ribs are the most severe injury that's ever been deliberately inflicted upon me. You'd think that Saya could show a little more concern for my condition. Koji's already dead as could be, so there's no reason for her to be so greedy. I suddenly realized that Saya has stopped eating. Now she's lying on her back, rolling from side to side. Has she eaten too much? It's been several days since we've had fresh, unfrozen meat, so I understand where her enthusiasm is coming from. But still, I'm wounded here! She could give me a hand! Because I'm preoccupied with my own selfish wants, I'm supposed to realize that something is wrong. Saya isn't resting. She's trembling. In agony. My blood goes cold, and the pain from my broken ribs is suddenly forgotten.
Saya!
Me after Christmas dinner. Oh, I'm so full! I jump up, run to her side, and cradle her fallen body in my arms. Her face is pale and drenched in sweat, and her half-closed eyelids and lips are shivering like she has a fever. What's wrong, baby girl? Speak to me, girl. What's going on? Was she wounded in the fight? Could the meat she just ate have been poisoned somehow? I don't understand. All I know is that something terrible is happening.
Saya! Saya!
Ah, Fuminori, I ate so much. I'm so full. Ah.
The only thing I could do is call her name with all my strength. Saya slowly opens her eyes and gazes vacantly into my face.
Fuminori, ごめん。大丈夫。大丈夫だよ。
Sorry, Fuminori. I'm fine. Really.
ただちょっと痛いだけ。
It just hurts a little.
何なんだどうしたんだサヤしっかりしろ
What's wrong? What is it? Come on, Saya! There's no way she's fine. It's glaringly obvious that her condition is dire. Even so, I'm the only one who's panicking. Sayaka's expression is serene, as though she understands everything that's happening to her. She even smiles softly up at me.
びっくりしちゃった。まさか本当にこんなに早く時が来るなんて。
I can't believe it. I never thought it would come so soon.
I might lose Saya. The thought is unbearable. Terror and despair are quickly overwhelming me. The feeling of utter helplessness that I cannot resist.
怖がらないで。昼間言ったよね。これが印。
Be afraid. Remember what I said? This is the sign.
みのりと私のたった一つの希望。
This is our only hope.
どういうことだよわけわかんないよサヤしっかりしてくれよ
What are you talking about? I don't understand. Stay with me, Saya! Saya answers my tearful entreaty, my tearful entreaty with a smile, like that of a mother comforting her child.
さやはね、頑張るって決めたの。
I did it. I decided to do my best. We just killed your best friend, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter right now. Something's going on with me.
だって、ふみのりは、さやのこと、可愛いって。
After all, you said you loved me.
綺麗だって、そう言ってくれたから。
You said that I was pretty.
やめようよ、さや。
Stop this! Don't die on me, baby girl! I only have you left in the world. Whatever is happening, I can't just sit by and watch as it causes Saya such agony.
もういい。無茶しないでくれ。何をするつもりか知らないが、さえが苦しむ姿なんて見たくない。
Please, whatever you're trying to do, I don't want to see you suffer.
ひどいな。ふみのり、わかってよ。
Don't be like that.
Saya chides me.
Please, understand.
With a soft voice, she reveals her secret.
生まれるんだよ。さやとふみのりの子供たちが。
She pregante! She pregnant! She preggers! Oh my god! Ah!
Gonna be born. Children.
Ah! For a moment, my mind goes completely blank.
そんな。
What?
いつの間
But when did you?
私もね、びっくり。ねえ、ふみのり。
I'm surprised too. Minori? I don't even look pregnant. Where's my pregnant belly or anything?
Saya's labored breathing speaks to the terrible pain her tiny body is suffering. Even so, she wraps her arms tightly around my neck.
外に連れてって。広いところ。空の下に。
Take me outside to an open place under the sky.
I nod. What else can I do? If I speak, I'm afraid that I'll be unable to hold back my tears. I mustn't cry, not when Saya is facing her torment so bravely. I'm gonna be a father! It feels like Saya is burning up in my arms, and I fear that the terrible convulsions that's shooting through her at intervals will tear her frail body to pieces. Praying her for her safety, I scoop Saya up and carry her swiftly out of the ruined building. Maybe the cold night air will soothe her fever, but that hope is futile, cruelly dashed as her breathing grows shallow and she moans through bluish lips.
さや、外だよ。
Saya, oh, we're outside. In response to my call, she opens her eyes once more. Her gaze is cloudy and unfocused. She can no longer see. Nevertheless, Saya looks at me. I can tell that she's imagining my expression where my face should be.
約束した。これが最後の。
Gonna be the worst parents of the year. Oh dear.
Just as promised. This is my final present.
I know.
喜んでくれるといいな。
I hope you like it.
嬉しいよ。もちろん。
Of course I will. It takes every ounce of my willpower, but I manage to make my voice light and cheerful. Damn it! I should have used protection. Why did we just do it without anything? Damn it, girl! Now you're dying. I think, unless this is just you struggling to give birth. In Saya's mind's eye, I know that I am smiling. She would have to see my face streaked with tears.
ふみのり、 私を愛してくれたあなたに
Merry Christmas, Fuminori! Ah! Fuminori, to you who loved me.
この星をあげます。
I give this planet.
Saya's whisper is weak and pained, but there is ecstasy in her voice. Ecstasy and joy. Her back suddenly shifts, then bulges outwards.
この世界はきっと綺麗な場所にな
This
るか
world
ら。
will be beautiful.
She whispers in exultation.
さやと文則のためだけの世界に。
World just for us.
Oh! Okay, so I had seen art of Saya with these like green leaves or something coming out her back. I didn't realize she was pregnant. I didn't realize she had babies. And then Saya blooms. How else can I describe it? Flower petals, long and wide, spread from her back like the wings of a newly formed butterfly. Their brilliant glow comes from the countless of tiny scales that cover each petal like particles of light.
さよならなのか。
This is actually kind of cool. Is this goodbye? I ask her, careful to keep the sorrow out of my voice.
ううん、違う。これは始まり。
No, not goodbye. This is the beginning.
Saya's pain must already have left her, for her expression is infinitely peaceful and content.
私と文則の世界の
Beginning
始まり。
of our world.
Wow, isn't that beautiful? The radiant motes rise on the wind, painting rivers of light in the frozen winter sky. It is beautiful, overwhelmingly, painfully beautiful. Singing victoriously at their freedom, the shining seeds of life are released into this vast and fertile land. Their songs heralds coming of the new world and destruction of the old. It is a boundless healing. It is eternal blessing. We shall fill the world with our joy. Ew, please no.
ずっと一緒だね。
Now, be together forever, won't we? Embracing Saya's pitifully shrunken body, I gaze into the shining sky and let my tears flow freely. Thank you. Thank you for this final gift, Saya. And now you're dead, and nobody loves me. And I have so many babies to look after. Who the heck am I talking about now? She was worried at first how long the preserved food in the underground storeroom would last her, but now it seems that her fears were unfounded. It's the liquor she could have worried about, or should have worried about. Fuminori's so down bad he doesn't even care anymore. I feel like Fuminori's probably dead. Like, will his children recognize him, or will they eat him too? You know? He still looks human. By savoring each drop of the spiritus as though it were her last, she thought that she could make her flask hold out a little longer, but she must have been consuming more each day than she realized. Oh, is this the doctor? You can blame her. There's no way that she could have gotten through this without the intoxicating effects of distilled alcohol. Yep, after Ryoko chased useless emotions like hope and despair.
Hope, despair, from a life mine, she found herself spending the most peaceful days of her life. As recognition set in, even hate and fear left her. Now she only feels awe of what Ogai Masahiko did in respect for the depth of his intellectual curiosity. After all, neither she nor this world has any reason left to deny his research. Alone in the mountain cabin, Roka killed time by bringing order to the documents that Ogai had left behind. She took the scattered, enciphered papers and rewrote them in a more readable fashion, eliminating redundancies and adding indexes and tables of contents. Roka did not intend for anyone to read them, of course. She knew full well how meaningless her actions were. With her reason to live outgone. However, having something to devote her mind to was at least some relief. And now, the last congratulating drops of spiritus vodka burned their way down Roka's throat. All of Okai's research lies before her in a single volume. She's finally finished transcribing and annotating the last of his writings.
Enjoy. You know, people who don't know that this is supposed to be my Kawaii voice are gonna be like, what the heck is she doing right now? Why is she speaking like this?
Enjoying the satisfaction of a pointless job well done, she idly pages through her manuscript that she just completed.
I shall conclude by summarizing my theory as it currently stands. The life form that I named Saya did not appear in our universe by chance, nor even as a result of my summoning, but because of the instincts that were programmed directly into her biology. She was created to fulfill the same ultimate purpose that all life shares: reproduction. Saya and her kind procreate by spreading her seeds to other dimensions. What is the probability that they will discover a doorway to another world? Even if they succeed in doing so, the chance of that world being suitable for reproduction must be more than minute. In order to make the most of the scant probability, evolution has granted them a certain advantage, none other than the astonishing ability I have witnessed in Saya. To it, they select the most properest life form that they encounter, take control of it, and in doing so, gain dominance over the planet's biosphere. In other words, they hijack the entire species. They do this by analyzing their target's genome, then overriding its genetic code and making it in their own image. Saya's biology is more than capable of inducing such dramatic and widespread mutation. The whole world will become Saya's. There's a significant probability that the target species will have evolved into intelligent life. This element may be necessary to gaining control of the planet's environment. Therefore, Saya and her sisters also plunder their target's culture and psychology. Her extraordinary learning ability and intellectual curiosity are like instinctive tools that enable her to inherit the target species' entire wealth of knowledge. Oh my god, isn't that incredible? Wow, what talents she has! In fact, it may be that Saya's kind has always had its sights set on intelligent life. Perhaps they wait patiently for some foolish, extra-dimensional species to gain knowledge of other worlds, and in attempting to satisfy its curiosity, make contact with the outer universe in which they dwell, rather than send Saya and her kin on their dimensional journeys with only luck! Oh my god, luck! And their unknown strength to depend on, without wanting for such contact greatly increase the chance of finding a world worthy of conquest. Just as I have acquired the silver key, fancying myself an explorer of the unknown, how many intelligent life forms on other worlds have thoughtlessly congratulated themselves for discovering Saya's sisters? Taken by the urge to go outside for a change, Roko gathers up the manuscript and heads to her car, which is parked in the front yard. She has completed her self-imposed final duty. There is no longer any reason for her to remain holed up in the mountain cabin. She drives a little further up the mountain to an open place that offers a scenic view of the land below. Does it hurt to do that voice? I think it's okay. If I were to do it for a whole stream, I think my voice might die at the end. But like, I also, I don't know. I feel like I'm used to doing this voice now. Oh, Hajime. Oh, man. I should play Danganronpa. I should play Danganronpa. I want to play Danganronpa with like someone who's never played Danganronpa before. I think it would be so funny. In the early days of change, Ryoko often came to the spot to watch helplessly over the mutating city. The one flaw in my theory comes from none other than Saya herself. After using me to learn everything she could about humanity, Saya should have finally been prepared to begin the last stage of her invasion. However, she never carried out her mission. Why? I hypothesize that Saya was an irregular among her kind. It is said that the human race's intelligence has allowed us to conquer our natural instincts. Perhaps in absorbing the human psyche, Saya accidentally inherited the disease that infects our entire species. What is human love, really? What behavior could be more of a hindrance to the efficient propagation of a species? I am reminded of how, at the end of her studies, Saya consumed vast quantities of a romantic literature from all over the world. She tried to understand romance as an integral part of the human reproductive process. As a result, she might have unwittingly neutered her own unparalleled reproductive abilities. After all, she had not known love. Oh, boo-hoo for her. She had come to this world to rule it in our place, and had studied humanity to fulfill that purpose. But ultimately, she could not have shared love with a human. Without love's blessing, Saya was unable to find a passion to fill this world with her kind. In learning that all there was to know about humanity, she herself had become hopelessly human. Oh, hopeless! Weary of loneliness, she despaired. Oh, despair of the world. How pure her maiden soul must have been. If this hypothesis is correct, then it means that I have failed her as a teacher. I cannot help but feel ashamed for having spoiled such an extraordinary organism. Saya. Next to Ogai and Masahiko, Ryoko now knows more about that entity than anyone else. No, when that young man named Sakisaka Fuminori is added to the running, perhaps she only comes in third. In the end, she never encountered the creature face to face. She would have liked to have met it once, though. If Ogai's analysis of Saya's psychology is correct, then it means it must have been Sakisaka who restored her desire to conquer the world. Perhaps Sakisaka's chief physician, Ryoko, played some role in bringing that lonely young man and Saya together, in which case, she should have at least had the right to attend their wedding to end all weddings. She might even have charged them a matchmaker's fee. Wow, the world looks amazing right now. I have a dream that one day my daughter will know the blessings of love. I pray that there will come a day where her heart burns with the flames of passion and her world becomes bright and joyous once more. When that day comes, Saya, your terrible, irresistible purpose will surely consume us, and your progeny may flourish. The whole world will know your love and be reborn. Ah, it's so beautiful, it's so wonderful, how hopeful. Ah, what wonders the future holds. Ah, this is Nagino Kawaii signing off. I deeply regret that I must end my life before I see that day come. But the footsteps of those who would destroy my dream grow closer by the hour. If I seal my lips in death, then their grasping hands will not reach you. Please forgive me, my daughter, for leaving you alone in this barren world. With the knowledge that you possess, I know you will find your own path. The radiance of your hard-worn soul shall light the road ahead. Have no fear, have no doubt. March onward until you reach your answer at last. Then, and I, Saya, will dream forever of the world that you create. Perhaps it's the isolated environment of the mountain air. Maybe she's just more resistant to the change. Whatever the case, Ryoko has not yet become as inhuman as the creatures wriggling through the city below. The city? The silly? The city. She does not know exactly how many people on this planet could still be called human, but she's one of what must be only a handful of survivors who are left to watch over the end of mankind. Of course, it's only a matter of time before she changes too. It has been 3 days since she chopped off her right hand, which had ceased to function as anything resembling a human hand. But the itching that has spread across her entire back is growing more intolerable by the hour. I'm gonna morb! She could look in a mirror to see what she's becoming, but she doubts that it would make her happy. Ryoko thinks that maybe it would be best to just go to sleep here, with the world spread out before her. When she awakens, perhaps she'll be ready to descend the mountain and join the city's revelries. Or maybe she won't even need such resolve anymore. Whatever the case, Ryoko thinks dreamily as she licks the very last drop from her flask. Even after I stop being human, I hope I'll still enjoy the taste of booze. Wow, guys, isn't that a great ending? The world is over. We're all slimy, fleshy things now. Yippee! Japan is a bunch of islands. How do the monster get to other places? Well, I'm sure the wind could carry them. I'm sure the wind could carry Saya's little babies. Did they swim? Best ending, best ending. Well, not for me. Oh, hey! Fuminori's voice actor only has one name. Hikaru. Maybe that's like a pen name. Maybe Hikaru was like, I don't want to be associated. I love that Hikaru Midorikawa used a pseudonym for this. Okay, so I was right. It's like, I don't want my full name on this, please. When he uses his own name for... Oh! Well, to be fair, I think that that makes sense. Like, the same studio could probably cast the same voice actors. Hey, you know what? Maybe someday I'll play Sweet Pool. And then I'll be like, it's like sayanouta, but yaoi. And oh my god, Mary, I'm sure you get this all the time. But like, hopefully someday. Dramatical Murder Reconnect translation when? I'd love to play that. I know, I think it's more like a, just like a couple of side stories though, right? It's not like a full visual novel type story game. At least, I don't think so. Yeah, I imagine it's a cost thing. It's not easy. Translation stuff like takes money and time, and then it gets like needs to be approved by like the original developers, I assume. And then a lot goes into like marketing as well, I assume. But hey, I'm sure a lot of people want Dramatical Murder to be officially translated for Reconnect. But no pressure. I'm sure you guys have a lot of stuff to do. I don't want to skip the credits here because I feel like, you know, should always respect, give credit to fellow creative people and artists. Adam Lovin, that's a great name. Anyway, once we're done with these credits, we're gonna play the other ending, and I hope I get to kill Fuminori. Saya like spawning and dying at the same time. I'm like, okay, that was actually a cool scene. Listen, I may not like Fuminori and Saya. However, I can recognize Peak. That was a pretty cool scene. I like it. Again, the whole concept of like sayanouta, I like. It's just like the sexual assault content is not technically something that I go out of my way to, you know, seek out. It's not something I personally enjoy, is what I'm saying. However, as a work of fiction, I can see it as that, you know? I don't think anything... Not that you can replicate anything in this game, but... yeah, you know, I think some people need to be more chill when it comes to fiction. I mean, again, clearly Saya was designed with an audience in mind, but conceptually, I can also understand, like, you know, young, youthful girl, picture of innocence and whatever, and then contrasting that with her, like, you know, actual monstrous nature. Yes, we're gonna do the other ending, because I want to kill him. So let's go. I can't stick around for the other ending, sorry, but I super enjoyed the stream. Thank you, Mary, for coming. Hey, if you want, we can chat sometime. It was nice seeing you on the stream. Thank you for coming, Mary. Urobuchi made her petite because he's scared of voluptuous women. Really? Bro, he's scared of boobs. Anyway, now let's call a doctor. The ringing of the cell phone interrupts Ryoko's labors. When she sees the caller is Tono Koji, she unwittingly breathes a sigh of relief.
Tambo da. Doushita?
Oh, her voice. This is Tambo. What is it? I've searched the Fuminori house. Even over the phone, Ryoko can hear the change in Koji's tone. His is the dull, flat voice of someone who has all the energy beaten out of him. Fuminori has murdered people. He's killed too many people to count, and he's eating them. His first steps into Ryoko's world have already brought him face to face with something particularly gruesome. In consideration of his probable state of mind, she decides to say nothing. Omi is dead, Koji continues. And Tsukuba too, probably. Doctor, I was wrong.
君は生きているうちにこの電話をかけてきたんだから、まだ致命的な間違いを犯したわけじゃない。
The fact that you're still alive to make this call means that you haven't made a fatal mistake yet, Ryoko says, praising Koji in her own way. Whether he's committed or not is up to him. She's like, well, don't worry, dumbass. I'm here now.
ともかく、もう今度こそ間違うな。私が戻るまで動くんじゃない。
Anyway, don't screw up this time. Do nothing until I return.
君が相手にしているやつは、一筋縄じゃいかない相手だ。
What we're dealing with here isn't going down easy. With her understanding of Saya deepening by the hour, Ryoko is able to make this declaration with new confidence.
俺が生きてることを知ってます。誰に助けられたかまでは教えてませんが、
That's because you're an idiot, Koji. Why the heck did you call him? Fuminori already knows I'm alive. I didn't tell him who rescued me, but he's definitely on guard.
そうか。
See. Koji's actions were rash, but there's no point in regretting them now. A more proactive approach would be to use the pressure that he's placed on Fuminori. Ryoko's involvement is still a secret. That makes her a wild card. Depending on how she plays it, this advantage could be decisive.
先生の方は何か手がかりをつかめましたか？
Have you found anything?
まだ十分な量とは言えない。
Not enough yet, Ryoko answers, glancing sidelong at the loose-leaf pages still scattered across the table.
そうだな。夜までには目処をつけて、夜半には東京に戻ろう。
Let's see. I'll wrap this up by evening and return to Tokyo around midnight.
それまで君は余計なことをせず、おとなしくしていろ。いい
You stay out of trouble until then. Got it?
はい。
Yes. The lack of emotion in Koji's voice is actually reassuring to Ryoko. He's a machine now, able to do whatever it takes to accomplish a single goal. The extermination of Sakisaka Fuminori. Let's kill him! Yeah! He's even willing to accept help from Ryoko, whose principles hardly mesh with his. A praiseworthy change indeed. After Ryoko hangs up, she gloomily counts the stacks of loose leaf that needs to be restored. There's no time left. She's only able to get the general picture. If she has to go into battle with only fragmentary knowledge, then there's one thing that she absolutely must decipher: Ogai's biological reports, which should contain information on the strengths and weaknesses of the organism called Saya. All she can do now is pray for luck as she dives back into the mountains of paper. Time to do research! We're gonna find her weakness and kill her. Oh, this has been read before. This is Fuminori's part. But it's probably a little bit different because now he hasn't received a call from Koji. Today was the first time I've driven since my accident since last summer. The proposition was always too dangerous to consider, given my inability to recognize roads and cars. Things have changed, however, in the 3 months I've had to adapt to my condition. I know what cars and pedestrians look like now, and even though I can't exactly see colors, I've learned to decipher lights and turn signals. I still can't— see, he still can't read street signs, but somehow he was able to read that sign at the store when he bought an axe, so come on, game. Nevertheless, I managed to make it back safely to our destination with Saya and Yo in the back seat. It was Saya who came up with the idea for our new hideout, an abandoned building she discovered while living with Dr. Ogai. We have read this before, so I'm gonna just speed through. In these hilly suburban residential areas, it's not hard to find thick patches of undeveloped forest just off the beaten path. Saya's old playground is located in one such secluded area, unaffected by the flows of everyday life. It used to be a privately operated sanatorium, hidden among the silent trees. After the owners went bankrupt, it remained unsold and was eventually forgotten. After I left Saya and Yo at the hideout, I returned to the town to make some preparations. Now I'm finally back at our new refuge. I liked this ruin from the moment I saw it. Mountains of construction materials and garbage litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. This place looks even less likely to receive unwanted attention than our house. Since my brain sees humans as revolting monsters, places they've been tend to stink or even seem covered in filthy slime. Ruins like these, long empty of life, are the places I find most restful. Is there a way I can see text that I've already read? Oh! Wait, no. There's skip red text. Change color of red text. I don't think I can skip through Well, we're just gonna have to go through it.
Tadaima.
I'm back. I call out to let them know I'm not a stranger. Then I go down to the basement where they're hiding. Yippee!
おかえりなさい。車平気だった？
Welcome back. Are you okay with the car?
もう全然問題ない。一方通行の標識もどういうのか分かっ
It
た
was
し。
no problem at all. I figured I had to tell which roads are one way. As long as I keep my speed down, there's no need. There's nothing to worry about. How are things here?
一通り調べたけど、
I took a look around as I thought there's no sign of anyone that's been here since I found this place. It's
こ
safe.
こは
そうか。
I see. Let's hope it stays
な
that
ら
way.
いいんだけど。
I'm a little worried that this abandoned building could become a hangout for bikie gangs or homeless people.
多分
It's probably because of the old trash pile out front. Most people won't get anywhere near that, don't you think?
うーん
I guess. It doesn't bother me at all. Rather, I like it, in fact. But of course, normal people would feel differently.
で、文則の買い物は
So how was your shopping? Did you find something good?
あ
I sure
Mochilon.
did. Look at this. I found it where they put a sign where I could read it.
刃渡り15センチ以上のナイフは銃刀法違
We're
反
just
だ
gonna
って
skip
張り
through
紙
this.
して
How
ある
about
のに
that? I don't need to read
そ
this
の
all
隣で
again, right?
こんなもの売ってる
切れ味とかどう
You want to test it on
用
Yo
で
because
試
I'm a
してみた
psychopath?
ら
いや
No, I don't think that's
そ
a
れ
good
はちょっ
idea.
と
Well, it's fine. She can
心
heal.
配いらないよ。
いや
No, I don't
そ
hurt.
れにしたっていいと
Really? Okay, whatever then.
そうだ
If you
ね。
don't want to kill her, I mean, that's fine.
でもさ、委託された
Oh
時
my god,
の
her
よう
screams
の
are
声
pretty
って
adorable. Isn't that cute?
So
Yeah, 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 whatever, Saya.
やっぱり人間
そうなのじゃあ、
Really? Then what
コ
about
ウジさん
Koji?
は
そりゃ
That's
だっ
easy.
て
I'm gonna kill him because he's not even like human to me anymore.
やつは僕には人間に見えないから
うー
Did it
ん
really make that difference?
そうさ
Yeah, that's right.
どんなに憎い人間だろうと
That's how I'll
人を
win.
こ
本当に
Really?
Yeah, I'll win.
体格じゃあいつが上だしでも僕にと
Don't
って
worry,
の化け
Saya.
物
I'll kill
な
his
んだ
ass.
か不安なんだよね。
You sure? I think we already did that one time, and
確実
this
じゃ
is
ない
the other
っていう
ending,
か。
so I think we're gonna die here, maybe.
You worry too much, Saya.
ねえ、やっぱり私が買った方が良くない
I appreciate Saya's consideration, even though it could be interpreted as a lack of faith in me. She's still putting her safety above. She's still putting my safety above hers. Nevertheless, I can't accept her heartfelt suggestion.
サヤの腕力だとさ
Anyway, you couldn't beat a
ようみた
guy,
いな女の子
Saya.
が
You're just a little
楽
girl,
にねじ伏せ
Saya.
られるだろうけど男
でもね、あのおじさん
What
も
the hell?
最初の
Fuminori,
不
I'm
意打
pretty
ちはう
powerful.
まくいった。病院だってそうだった。
Let me at him.
ま
Okay,
あ
whatever.
それも一理
Well,
あ
how
るか
about we
な
do this? We have a plan, huh? We use Yo, huh?
And she's like, wow, that's a great plan. Let's use Yo. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Let's do
こう
that.
いうのはど
Yeah!
何
You're
も
so
そ
smart,
こまで
Fuminori.
で、
わからない
Oh, here we go.
いずれ奴の方から電話があるだろうそしたらここに誘い出して仕留める
I don't know. He'll call sooner or later, and then I'll lure him here and finish him. Koji will come. I know that he won't leave us alone. We could just keep running now that we've started, but I want to eliminate Koji as soon as possible. Therefore, when he contacts me, I intend to meet with him. Unless it's an obvious trap.
せっかく人間一人分の肉が仕入れられるのに、ここだと腐らせちゃうね。冷蔵庫ないし。
Your 5 head leaves you leaves you vulnerable. Yeah, she's got a big ass head, you know? Could easily whack her.
Finally going to get more human meat. Too bad it's just gonna rot without a refrigerator.
他の動物を誘う
Yeah,
餌
let's
に
go
できな
fight
い
some
か
animals.
それ危ない
No
よ
way!。
そっか
Yeah, whatever.
それもそうだ
Anyway, let's keep going.
まあ、この
3人分だよ
任せて。
そっか
Yay! We're gonna hunt and live
今度
happily
は
ever
どのぐら
after,
いのんびり
Fuminori.
できるか
And
な。
guess what?
どのぐらい
I'm
Come on.
pregnant. But you don't need to know that.
長い旅だと思えばいいさどうせ人生なんて旅みたいなものなん
Nothing
だ
stays the same forever.
時の流れを見送るか
そうだよ
I
ね。
guess you're right.
それでも、一人ぼっちじゃないし。
あ
I have no regrets. As long as I can hold Saya in my arms, I will gladly pay any price.
それにね、
And besides,
いつかは、私たちが人目を忍んで暮らさなくてもよくなる
Hee
日
hee,
が
I'm pregnant.
来るよ。それは、明日かもしれないし、
I'm gonna like give birth
Don't- don't-
today.
don't- don't- don't-
Fuminori, I'm gonna die today.
いつ印が来るのか、私にもわからないの。
It's my first time being pregnant.
初めてのことだから。
So, bye.
ほんのちょっぴり。
I don't know what she's saying. It's not as if she's pregnant or something.
僕らの
きっとそれがさやが文則に送ってあげられる最後のプレゼント。さやの最初で最後の務め。
Yippee! Let's go kill. Let's go kill Saya when she's pregnant. Anyway, the hands of his watch move with agonizing slowness, as though counting down to the end of the world. In the hours since contacting Ryoko, Koji went back to his apartment, showered, changed clothes, and even has his first full meal in days. He wanted to take a nap, knowing that he needed the rest, but no matter how he tried, sleep never came. Forcing himself to relax only made his nerves colder and sharper. Wow. The public! With nothing else to do, he decides to wander the city until nightfall. Downtown Tokyo is bustling, surrounded by smiling pedestrians, bright lights and windows decorated early for Christmas? You didn't tell me this was a Christmas game! I should have played it before Christmas! It's now after Christmas! Whoops! He feels as if all the happiness in the world has been gathered in this very place. Koji takes it all in, burning it into his memory, like it's the last thing he'll ever see. Is the world so beautiful because of the horrors that lurk in the shadows? Oh, is it the world so beautiful because of the horrors that lurk in the shadows? The glow of the city can no longer warm him. Perhaps that is why it seems so precious. Koji watches the city for hours. It feels unreachably distant, like reading the obituary of someone you loved long ago. His phone rings at 8 p.m. It's Ryoko. We gotta stop and start again next year. Yeah, sorry guys. Their conversation is short. She hangs up as soon as they decide where to meet. And so ends Tono Koji's final night of peace. Ryoko arrives at the diner at 1 a.m., 1 hour later than agreed upon. She has a heavy-looking duffel bag under her arm. Koji doesn't feel like asking what the bulge represents.
すまんね。いろいろと準備に手間取った。
Oh, she's so cool looking. Sorry, I had to get a lot together. Ryoko doesn't sound at all apologetic, but Koji decides to just nod expressionlessly. Only a few tables are filled at this hour, like lonely islands in the midst of the vast restaurant. After sending the bleary-eyed waitress away with an order for 2 coffees, Koji and Ryoko are left all alone in the corner of the dining area.
で、調べ物は終わりましたか?
So, did you find what you were looking for? Koji asked bluntly, while sipping dutifully from his third cup of watery, tasteless coffee.
待たせただけの甲斐はあると思いたいね。何分確証を得るまでには
I
至
feel
ってない
that
んだ。
waitress right now. I'd like to think I didn't make you wait for nothing, at least. Though, I'm still not sure of anything.
文則も相当じれてると思います。こちらから連絡すると言ったきり、丸1日放置してますからね。
I think Fuminori is under a lot of stress. I've left him hanging for a day since I told him I'd call.
そんなにも彼は君との接触を意識してるのか?
Do you really think you have him on edge?
サヤっていう名前には露骨なほど反応してました。
His reaction to the name Saya was very clear. In the silence that follows, Koji tries to soothe his parched throat with another mouthful of weak coffee.
そうか。やはりサヤなのか。
I see. Ryoko mutters. So it is Saya. It's obvious that her grimace isn't for the coffee.
今なら田んぼ先生はもう答えを知ってるんですね。サヤというのが何なのか。
You know, don't you? Koji asks, his tone almost confrontational. You know what this Saya is? Ryoko tries to ignore Koji's question by nursing her coffee, but that only works until the cup is empty. Staring at the brown stain at the bottom of her cup, Ryoko says, her voice hard and flat.
君は私の忠告を無視した愚か者なわけだが、
You were foolish enough to ignore my warning once.
もう一度だけ証拠りもなく言わせてほしい。殿君、君は手を引いて全てを忘れるべきだ。
But I'm just as stubborn as you. So I'm gonna say this one more time. Go home, Tono, and forget everything that's happened.
証拠りもないですね。
You really are stubborn, Koji replies, smiling bitterly instead of glaring at her like he did before.
俺がまだ先生や文則とは境界線を挟んだ反対側にいるとでも？
Are you saying that I still haven't crossed the line separating me from you and Fuminori?
君はまだ一番致命的なものまでは見ていない。
You still haven't seen the most damning part of all this.
君にとってこの事件は無二の親友がいきなり正気を失ってに目覚めたっていうただそれだけの内容なんだろ？
As far as you're concerned, Ryoko continues with a disparaging smirk. Your best friend in the whole world suddenly went crazy and became accountable. That's all this is to you, isn't it? That's all? The things that Fuminori has done are so horrifying that Koji's only recourse, his only hope of coping, is to kill the man who was once his friend. Yet despite that, Ryoko makes this nightmare sound like just the beginning. Koji still doesn't understand where her morbid cynicism comes from, nor does he want to.
それだけじゃないとしたら、残りは先生の妄想なんじゃないですか？
You say there's something more, but aren't you just imagining it?
そう思えるならまだ君の傷は浅いってことさ。
See, that's how I know your wounds are still shallow. Her brusque tone says that she doesn't care whether or not Koji is satisfied with her explanation.
今ならまだ時間が君の傷を癒してくれるだろう。
If you back out now,
最後の一線を踏み越えていない。
they'll probably heal given time. You haven't crossed the final line yet. Koji considers Riko's word calmly, without letting himself get emotional like before. The final line. True, Fuminori is somewhere beyond that. Although Koji has gone far enough to be willing to kill Fuminori, he has no intention of eating his enemy's flesh once he's dead. That at least still separates the two. Then what about Roko, who's treated Koji like an ignorant fool ever since she saved him from the well? How close is she to Fuminori?
先生の傷は俺よりも深いと。
You're saying your words are deeper than mine? In response to Koji's biting question, Ryoko's mocking smile turns inward.
この銃はね、実家の父のものなんだ。
This gun was my father's, you know. Ryoko pats one of the duffel bag's bulges.
こいつがロッカーから消えたせいで、父は責任を問われて地元の猟友会から除名させられた。
His hunting club kicked him out when it disappeared from his locker.
申し訳ないと思ってるよ。私は両親にとっては自慢の娘なんだ。それが金庫の銃を盗み出すなんて
I
想像
stole
もし
it,
てな
and
いだ
he
ろ。
got in trouble. I feel bad about that. My parents were always proud of me. They probably never even suspected that I was the one who took it.
そうするだけの必要が先生にはあったと。
So you had a good reason for taking it?
いいや、全然。
No, not at all. Damn, she crazy. Her quick denial isn't what Koji was expecting.
その頃にはもう王外のことは一見落着していた。少なくとも私はそう思っていた。
At the time, the Ogai mess had already ended. At least, that's what I thought.
奴は姿を消したきり、もう二度と私の前には現れないだろうと安心してた。
I wonder what he, specifically did to her. Maybe they already mentioned it and I forgot. He'd vanished without a trace, and I was sure I'd never see him again.
この銃で何かを撃とうとか、殺そうとか、そういう必要があったわけじゃない。
I didn't steal this gun because I needed to shoot someone.
じゃあなぜ？
Then why?
眠れなかったんだよ。
Because I
た
couldn't
だそれ
sleep.
だけ。
That's all. Ryoko pauses perhaps needing time to decide on how best to explain.
それまではベッドサイドにナタを隠しておいたんだ。夜一人で部屋にいるのが耐えられなくてね。
Till then, she continues, choosing her words carefully, I was sleeping with a machete next to my bed. I couldn't stand being alone at night, you see.
どんなに世界が底抜けにめちゃくちゃになっていこうと、悲鳴を上げて逃げ回る以外の選択肢が自分にはあるんだって。
I needed to know that no matter what horrors the world might hold, I still had some power against the madness.
そう納得させるためにはね、部屋の中に何か一つ頼りになる武器を置いておきたかった。
I needed a weapon I could count on. Koji doesn't know what to say. He's amazed, impressed even, that someone with such a serious case of delusional paranoia could function as one of the T University's top doctors.
でもそれじゃ大した効き目はなかった。
He's like, damn, you're kind of crazy, but like,
悪夢は日
still
ごとにひ
cool?
どくなっていく一方で。
How do you still have your job? It didn't work though. My neighbors kept on getting worse.
安眠するにはナタじゃまだ足りなかったんだ。それで父の銃を盗んできた。
Machete wasn't enough to let me sleep peacefully. That's when I stole my father's gun.
こんな風に重心を詰めるとね、散弾がもっと広範囲に飛び散るようになって殺傷力が増すんだそうだ。
By cutting the barrel down like this, the shot spreads over a wider area and causes more damage.
アメリカでも重罪になる改造なんだとさ。私はそれをクローゼットの奥に突っ込んで、それでようやく眠れるようになったよ。
I hear that even in America, carrying a sawed-off shotgun is a crime. With this gun sitting in the back of my closet, I was finally able to sleep. That's something like, because I'm not familiar with like guns at all. I'm like, how does that work? How does like cutting off part of your like shotgun make it still functionable, you know, and make it even more dangerous? That's like something I do not understand the mechanics of.
3日に一晩ぐらいはね。
One night out of 3, that is. Ooh! Look at her, she seems dangerous! At this point, Rika seems to have gotten everything off her chest, smiling like someone who just finished a hard job, she adds.
銃はいいよ、本当に。
A gun's a great thing to have, you know. It really is.
相手に向かってぶっ放すもよし、それでダメなら自分の口に突っ込んで引き金を引くっていう選択肢もある。
It spreads the shot more for stuff like shotguns. Yeah, but like, for my brain, because I don't really understand, I'm just like, so a shotgun, right? Is the bullet like not one solid bullet? Is it like a spray of like debris or something? Longer makes it more precise and aim better because it's following a path for longer. Shorter means that the path isn't quite set, so it's everywhere. No. Hey guys, teach me the anatomy of a gun. A gun's are really a great thing to have, you know. It really is. You can use it to blow your enemies away, and if that doesn't work, you can always stick it in your mouth and pull the trigger. You're crazy!
先生は専門家の治療を受けるべきです。
Doctor, you need help.
端的な感想ありがとう。でもね、君だって他人事じゃなくなるよ。これ以上先に進むんならね。
You won't be able to talk like that for much longer, though. Not if you go any further. Koji's already doubtful that meeting with Ryoko was the right thing to do. The one thing that he and Ryoko had in common is an unwillingness to leave Fuminori to the proper authorities. Fuminori not only killed Koji's lover and friend, but even went as far as to defile their corpses. Koji isn't about to give him the chance to get off in an insanity plea. No matter what crimes he must commit, Koji will end Fuminori with his own 2 hands. If he doesn't, he knows that he will never sleep again. It helps to have a partner in crime, but only when that partner doesn't cause trouble. Ryoko talks big about exposing Ogai's secrets, but she might have a head full of delusions. So Koji needs to rethink this whole thing.
この先全てを先生に任せろというのなら、先生のこと信用させて
It's
くださ
also
い。
illegal because it's stronger and easier to hide. Interesting. Because I assume like a shotgun is a really big gun, yeah? Like it's a whole arm's length, pretty much. Bang! I guess this is a good time to say, like, I've never, held a real gun before. I've only, like, held a water gun. Or, a tiny fake gun. I think it's like, in Australia, to have a gun, you need, like, a special license or permission or something like that. I don't know. I think the public isn't allowed access to guns in Australia. I'm pretty sure. Unless, like, you're from a gang or something and have, like, illegal ways to possess a gun. I think only police really have guns in Australia. I don't know. It's not something I think about for my daily life. You know, that's like part of the reason I'm a little scared of America. I don't know. If you're telling me to leave this to you, Koji says with unflappable determination, then please give me some reason to trust you.
先生をそこまで追い詰めるほどのものが、オーガイっていう男にあったという証拠を、彼が何をしでかしたのか、すべて俺に見せてください。
Prove to me there's a reason for you being so obsessed with Ogai. Show me what he did.
そこまで言うかね、まったく。
So you're determined to go all the way? Oh well. Ryoko smirks and shakes her head ruefully, but puts up no further resistance. She pulls a stack of papers from her bags and hands it to Koji. The loose-leaf sheets are bound with string.
一行読んだら、続きは次のページの同じ行だ。まあ、触りだけでも読んでみるといい。
After you read one line, it continues on the same line of the next page. Anyway, just skim it. As directed, Koji looks through the handwritten pages and gives up after less than 3 minutes.
怪奇 SF の草稿か何かですか。罪のない悪ふざけですね。彼にはこんな子供っぽい趣味があったわけだ。
Is this a draw for a horror novel or something? I didn't think Ogai had such childish hobbies. Koji deliberately scoffs at the document, doing everything he can to show contempt for what he just read. At the same time, he tries desperately not to remember the amount of bones in Ogai's bathtub and the unidentifiable smell permeating Funoi's house. The smell of dead body.
1年前、オーガイがうちの大学に持ってきた資料も、その文章と同じぐらい突拍子もないものだった。
The specimens that Ogai brought to the hospital 1 year ago were just as unbelievable, Ryoko says, coldly ignoring Koji's disdain.
やつは大学の機材を無断で使って、こっそり検査をしようとしたらしい。
Apparently, he continued his research in secret, using our supplies without permission.
だがドジを踏んで露見した。そこから先はもう大騒ぎでね。
But he made a mistake and was discovered. That's when things got crazy.
オーガイが使おうとした機材から察するに、やつはそいつを P3 レベルのバイオハザードとして取り扱うつもりだったらしい。
Judging by the equipment he was trying to use, he meant to treat his experiment as a P3 level biohazard.
その程度の用心で十分だったのかどうかも知れたもんじゃないんだ。
To be honest, even that might not have been sufficient for what he was dealing with.
近隣の住民を退去させるべきだったんだが、まあそこは偉い人たちが偉い人なりに頑張って全部なかったことにしてくれたよ。
We should have evacuated the nearby civilians, but the big shots did their thing and made the whole mess disappear.
その代わり私たちはキャンバス中のネズミを一匹残らず駆除する羽目になった。 ネズミとかつてネズミだった何かをね。
In exchange, we were left with the task of exterminating every single rat, including Yuki, on campus, including the things that used to be rats. Used to be. At their first meeting, Ryoko brushed off Koji when he asked about Ogai and Masahiko. Now, however, she's telling the whole story, her voice as flat and as motionless as a machine.
事の究明には結局皆がサジを投げた。
In the end, everyone gave up trying to explain what had happened.
オーガイが持ち込んだ資料がどういう起源のものなのか、誰にも突き止めることはできなかった。
No one could figure out where his materials had come from, or what they were.
まあ結局、みんな賢明だったわけだ。
In retrospect, they did the wise thing.
理性は理性、ざれ言はざれ言。そういう線引きを危うくしないで済む程度ってもんを心得ていた。
They knew how to keep the line between reality and fantasy where it should be.
でもあいにく、当時の私はそこまで賢明じゃなかった。
I unfortunately was not so wise. I needed to know the truth, and that's when I discovered everything, and it's all fucked up. Look at me now, though. I'm so badass. Look at me. Ryoko pauses for a moment, then grins with self-disdain so maniacal that it strikes Koji like a blow.
あれこれ探って暴き出して、私はオーガイが何をしていたのか知った。
I searched everywhere for Ogai, flushed him out, and finally learned what he'd been doing.
彼が関わっていた連中や彼をそそのかした連中も突き止めた。
I found the people he'd been dealing with, and who'd encouraged him to perform his experiments.
ナタと添い寝するようになったのはその頃からだ。
That's when I started sleeping with a machete.
この世の理性ってものがどんなにタガの緩んだ穴だらけの頼りない代物なのか理解するようになったのはね。
I'd learned just how absurd, how hollow, how worthless our precious reason is. I've seen some messed up, fucked up things, man. You can't even imagine. As though fleeing from the quiet insanity that he keeps glimpsing in Ryoko, Koji finds himself paging through the loose leaf in his hand. He reads a line at random. The organism's flesh is not fibrous, but reticulated. Put simply, it is an extremely tough substance that expands and contracts, not in one direction, but in all directions. This means that slashing or piercing damage has very little effect. Since the flesh can contract in any direction freely, any wound will be sealed instantly. It's nonsense. What else can it be? If he lets himself believe it, then everything else, all the logical rules that define the world, will be rendered meaningless.
じゃあ先生は信じるんですね。この内容を。
Do you believe what's in this, Doctor? Also, thank you, Z! No worries. Hey, if you come back and we watch this VOD, I hope they die. I hope Fuminori and Saya die by the end. And then you can watch that and clap your hands. Take care. Have a good night's sleep, Z.
疑う理由なんてとっくの昔に見失ったからね。
I lost any reason to doubt it a long time ago. Ryoko reaches into a duffel bag again, this time removing a stainless steel thermos that looks like it's able to hold about 500 cc's of liquid. CCS? CC's. What's CC's?
こいつがサヤを倒す切り札だ。調達するのに手間取ったが、多分こいつは敵面に効く。
This is the secret weapon that'll let us defeat Saya. It was a pain to get, but it should work like a charm.
ついていけません。
Yes, kill Saya and her pregnant babies. Anyway, sorry, I just thought of a terrible dark joke, but I was like, get an abortion! I can't take this anymore, Koji snaps, no longer being able to disguise his frustration.
サヤが何だろうともうどうでもいいです。俺は
I
文
don't
則を
care
終わらせる
what
ことができれ
Saya
ばそれでいい。
is. All I care about is
あなたに
killing
は任せておけ
Fuminori.
ません。
I can't leave this to you.
そうか。
see. Now that she's given up on persuading him, her accent is as swift and cold. At this moment, Koji's fate has likely ceased to matter to her.
いいだろう。君は先坂文則を仕留めるために全力を尽くすといい。
Alright then, you do
私もその気
everything
に
you
乗
can
じさせてもらうとする。
to take Sakisaka down. I'll take advantage of the opening you
君の
create.
邪魔はしないし、君が仕損じた時にはきっちりと私が帳尻を合わせてやる。
I won't get in your way, and I'll even take care of things when you screw up. Despite the determination in her voice, Koji can't bring himself to trust this paranoid doctor completely.
あなたの持ち合わせている理由で文則を殺せるんですか？
Do you have a reason to kill Fuminori?
潔癖症なんだよ、私は。ああやって人の世界の拉致外に隠れ住んでいるような奴らが我慢ならない。
I like things neat and tidy. I can't stand people like him who lurk outside of the world.
奴らは寝室のゴキブリだ。枕元でカサコソ這い回る音を無視して眠れるか？
They're like cockroaches in your bedroom. Can you sleep with them scuttling underneath your pillow?
見つけ次第殺して駆逐する。そうせずにはいられない。私の精神衛生上の問題だ。
The moment I find one, I'll kill it and stamp out all traces of its existence. I have to, for the sake of my mental well-being. That's right! Mental well-being, girl! Take care of yourself! Her reasons are similar to Koji's own. He doesn't want to bring a murderer to justice, nor does he want to revenge for Omi and Yo. If he did, he could have left everything to the police. The reason he can't is that the villain is Fuminori. The man he believed was his friend has turned his whole world upside down. Everything and everyone with a part of this madness is to blame, and that includes himself for allowing the betrayal. His self-loathing, his desire to destroy, is what's keeping him on his feet.
さあ、それじゃあチェックメイトに駒を進めよう。先坂君を呼び出すといい。
Let's move in for the checkmate. Go ahead and call Sakisaka out. Koji nods, pulls out his cell phone, and calls his friend for what will probably be the last time. The call goes through quickly. Fuminori must have been waiting for it.
待たせたな、文則。こっちの準備は整った。
Sorry to keep you waiting, Fuminori. I finished my preparations.
コージ、今どこにいる？
Koji, where are you? Fuminori must have been quite anxious to hear from Koji. His voice is hard and completely motionless.
お前のすぐ背後とでも言っておこうか。
Let's just say, I'm right behind you. Koji can't help but smile at Fuminori's disappointment. Perhaps Roka's maniacal sadism has rubbed off on him.
で、筑波を解放する決心はついたのか？
Well, have you decided to let Tsukuba go?
ああ、背に腹は変えられない。
Yeah, I suppose I have no choice. He's lying, Koji thinks, remembering the contents of Fuminori's refrigerator. Just what part of Yo did you eat, huh? Did you carve that poor girl up like a pig?
コージ、お前は集めた資料のすべてを証拠ともども持ってこい。その内容を見て納得できたら、僕らは用を引き渡す。
Bring your evidence, along with all the files you've gathered. When I'm satisfied they're the real thing, I'll hand Yo over.
いいだろう。場所は？
Fine. Where?
まずは王線の Y 駅まで来い。
Oh, this is different.
そこでお前が一人なのを確認してから、詳しい場所を教える。
We're not going to Dr. Ogai's house anymore. First, come to Y Station on the O line. When I'm sure that you're alone, I'll tell you the exact location.
念の言った話だな。
You're being awfully careful.
妙な細工はなしだ。45分以内に来い。
No tricks. You have 45 minutes. Fuminori hangs up without waiting for Koji's response.
俺が単独なのを確認するまで、居場所は教えないつもりみたいです。
He won't tell me his location until he's sure I'm alone.
ただの医大生にしちゃ心得てるな。感心だ。
Not bad for a medical student. I'm impressed. Yoka praises sounds serious, drawing a glare from Koji.
私の車はここに置いていこう。トノオ君、君の車のトランクに 人一人が入る隙間はあるか。
We're gonna go secretly. Well, we'll leave my car here. Is your trunk big enough to fit me inside?
大丈夫ですが、正気ですか？映画の見過ぎですよ。
Yeah, but are you serious? You've seen too many movies.
そんじょそこいらの映画よりは危険な冒険なんだよ、これは。
This adventure is more dangerous than anything you've seen in a movie. With those bold words, Ryoko grabbed her duffel bag and rises from her seat.
で、この店を待ち合わせに選んだのは君だったな。
Weren't you the one who chose to meet here?
そうですが、何か。
Yeah? Why?
コーヒーの責任を取れ。
Take responsibility for the coffee, she says and tosses him the check. Pay for my coffee! I am paying for it. It's like a date. Is this a date, Sensei? Even after Koji arrives at Y Station as directed, Fuminori calls him and makes him change location 3 more times. Koji is beginning to doubt that Fuminori is watching. He might just be using the time to guess when Koji arrives at each designated location. Nevertheless, Koji can't let his guard down. Fuminori might choose any moment to make sure he's alone. If he makes the mistake and puts Fuminori on alert, Ryoko will lose her chance to take him by surprise. She'll just have to put up with being with the cramped trunk for a little while longer. After the nature preserve and a dry riverbed, the 4th location to which Fuminori sends Koji is in the thick forest at the top of the foothills, high above the developed area at their base. His car's GPS shows a road that leads nowhere, but according to Fuminori, there should be an old abandoned sanatorium there. The park and river were empty this late at night, but during the day it would likely have considerable traffic. This time, however, his instinct is telling him that this is definitely a place no one could find, not even by accident. Looks like this is the final stop. Koji drives up the steep incline, soon leaving the residential neighborhood behind. Even though the hands of progress are right at its doorstep, the undeveloped forest is darker than he expected. This looks like a great place to live in secret, or kill someone and hide the body. Places like this, lost and forgotten, aren't found only in deep jungles and hidden valleys. Holes in the world are everywhere, even in the midst of civilization. Here we go. The final stop. Let's go.
着いたぞ。
Here.
あ、
Yeah, I heard you. Welcome to my new home. Yokoso. Fuminori is nearby, close enough to hear the sound of the engine. A shiver of excitement shoots up Koji's spine.
中に入ってこいよ。ヨウも待ってる。
Come inside. Yo's waiting. Of course. Time to kill you, Fuminori. After grabbing his new flashlight from the glove compartment and checking that the revolver is still in his pocket, Koji opens the door, making sure to pop the trunk at exactly the same time. Ryoko shouldn't need any more explanation than that. Realizing that the interior roof light will stay on and broadcast that the trunk is included, Koji quickly unscrews the bulb, then gets out of the car and deliberately slams the driver's side door hard. Mountains of trash litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. Koji sees everything from small refrigerators to mopeds to huge chunks of concrete and plaster that must have been abandoned by construction workers. The fact that they could get away with leaving all this stuff behind shows how remote this place is. Glancing sidelong at the rear of his car, Koji sees no movement inside the barely open trunk. Ryoko knows what she's doing. She'll probably wait until Fuminori's attention is focused on Koji before making her move. The moon is brighter than usual, allowing Koji to walk through the front yard without tripping on debris. Staying alert, he heads for the building beyond the mountains of trash. Something must be buried underneath the piles of garbage, because the whole yard is filled with the sharp stink of chemicals. Even the homeless probably wouldn't come to this place. If you need to get out of the wind and rain, there's probably plenty of shelters more suitable. When he reaches the gaping, doorless entrance of the building, there's a door right there in the picture! Koji glances back the way he came. His car, parked at the gate, is hidden behind the mountains of trash. Even if Fuminori is watching from inside the sanatorium, he shouldn't be able to see Ryoko call out from the trunk. Looks like she'll get her chance to take him by surprise. How many times has he stood like this, alone in some ominously silent place far removed from his everyday life? Sneaking into the deathly quiet houses to find traces of unimaginable happenings has become as normal as going to class. The houses that he explored before were like freshly shed cicada shells, empty and dilapidated, but with traces of the life they had sheltered. This place, however, is different, a perfect ruin, its walls and pillars rising from the dark forest like an army of ghosts, with no sign at all that people once lived and worked here. The structure resembles a skeleton more than a shell. Time and the elements have stripped it of its former shape, and now there is only death. Koji has gone as far as he can. This must be the final stop. What will Fuminori's next move be? He must be planning to kill Koji, but how? Just as he's about to turn on his flashlight, Koji reconsiders. If he wanders around with the light on, he'll be broadcasting his exact location. That'll give the advantage to Fuminori, who's probably lying in wait for him right now. I'm probably gonna run into Yo again. He holds his light before him in his left hand, and with his fingers poised on the switch. In his right hand, he raises the revolver, keeping it pointed in the same direction. Now ready to fire when he turns on the light, Koji steps quietly onto the dark ruin. Did Roku give me any more bullets? I still only have 4, right? It takes a while for his eyes to adjust, but even when they do, he has only moonlight streaming through an empty window to guide him. Everything appears gray and indistinct. However, Fuminori has to deal with the same conditions if he's hiding here. This is a battle of nerves, exhausting and deadly, where the first to make a sound and give away his position will lose. The rooms on both sides of the hallways are open. Some are even missing their doors. Koji creeps up to each entrance, checks to make sure no one is inside, then carefully proceeds on. The stink that he noticed in the garden has changed. Now it smells more organic, like rotting meat. It's the exact same smell that filled Fuminori's house. Ooh, this is different. The organism's flesh freely expands into matter that renders piercing damage meaningless. 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 Koji grits his teeth and forces the madman's words out of his head. What good can come of taking them seriously? This isn't the time for such useless... Koji freezes and stares down the hole. It was a wet sound that he heard just now, like someone dragging their feet through a swamp, and it came from the room at the end of the hole. Something is there. Something alive. 4 shots, 2 targets. Well, technically they have like 3 targets, if you include Yo. So, she's right behind me, isn't she? Koji creeps towards the sound, his light and gun at the ready. Oh, it sounds like someone's squeezing mud through their fingers. And as he gets closer, Koji begins to hear breathing. Could it be Fuminori? No, that's impossible. He should be waiting for a chance to ambush Koji, not making careless noise. As he proceeds, the strange sound coming through the cracks in the concrete walls grows clearer. Before he knows it, he's standing on the threshold. The room is filled with a thick, viscous darkness, just like every other room he's passed. There's more than darkness, however. Something is there. He can hear pained breathing, like that of a wounded animal, and what sounds like sobbing. Sobbing?
誰だ?
Who's there? Koji whispers into the darkness. Now he's given way to his position, he might as well turn on his light. For some reason, however, Koji feels that to do so would have disastrous consequences. The last time I heard a voice on the phone, she was sobbing. The wheezing suddenly stops. And then... Koji! A whisper comes out of the darkness, though not a human voice, not by any measure. It speaks some blasphemous semblance of a human word. A nightmarish flash of insight connects the dots in Koji's mind.
つくば
It can't be. Yo doesn't sound like this. She doesn't smell like this.
コージ、お願い、殺して。
But if it's not Yo, then how does it know his name? Why is it begging him for help? Yo. It can't be Yo. She's human. That's some creature that slithers and hides in the shadows. Will I post this live later? Yeah, it will still be up as a VOD. The thing wriggles closer. His reason cries out, imploring him to switch the light on before it's too late, or to turn and run if he cannot. But Koji is unable to make either choice. He can only call out in vain to the amorphous shape in the darkness.
つくばなのか直江まさかつくばなのか
Is it you, Tsukuba? Is it really you?
死なせ。お願い。
Something soft and slimy slides over Koji's toes. Instinct overrides his will, forcing him to turn on his light and shine it at his feet. The white beams reveal everything, the merciless truth that finally shatters Koji's sanity. Okay, here we go again. Bang, 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 bang! Terror wipes his mind of all but two words, gun and trigger. His finger responds with instant obedience. There's an explosion of light and sound, with both more intense than he anticipated, and then the destructive forces are swallowed up by the darkness. His ears are still ringing from the bang, but he hears a weak voice coming from the shadows. Koji screams and pulls the trigger again and again, certain that salvation can only come from the barrel of his gun. He's wasted all his bullets again! Well, that's it. Light and darkness, explosions and silence, they dance before him 3 more times. Koji doesn't even need to aim. The horrible creature is right at his feet, far too close to miss. Roko warned him of how many bullets there were left in the gun, but that information has already been driven from his mind. Even after the cold, heavy gloom wraps itself around him once more, Koji keeps pulling the trigger like a man possessed, paying no heed to the clicking of the empty weapon. His panic-stricken legs suddenly give out, sitting him down hard on the backside. Even then, he keeps firing the empty gun. He knows no other way to erase the memory of the thing that he glimpsed in the beam of his flashlight. That's right, he's going crazy now that he saw, the Saya-looking creatures. The light, which fell from his hand during the attack, is now pointing in a different direction, and though all 4 bullets must have hit their target, they were Koji's last card to play. Which leaves him alone in the darkness with no way to defend himself. Just as he realizes this, a mass of rotting flesh rolls over him like a tidal wave. He can no longer even scream as the thing pushes him onto his back. When's Roku gonna come in and help my ass? Help! With fear seizing in his throat like an iron grip, Koji struggles desperately against the monster as if it crawls up on his body towards his face. Covering his face with his left hand, he scrabbles wildly along the floor with his right, searching for the way out that doesn't exist. His mind is that of a feral animal, emptying of everything but primal terror. And that is why, when his right hand closes around something hard at the last moment, he recognizes instinctively as a weapon. Bang! I'm gonna, like, hit her on the head a bunch of times. Bang! Bang, bang! Putting every ounce of strength into his arm, Koji swings the heavy object at the creature on top of him. He hears the thud of the blunt object striking something soft and wet, and then Koji's attacker rolls off him. As soon as he's able to move again, Koji leaps to his feet and grabs his new weapon with both hands, brandishing it like a charm to ward off evil. Now only does he realize that he's holding a rusty steel pipe. The monster is still sobbing. Ah! Whack, whack, whack! With that cry that is part scream, part roar, Koji raises the steel pipe and brings it crashing down on the cowering creature. When are we gonna fight Fuminori and Saya? He hears a wet sound that fills the blood-chilling sensation of its thick, soft flesh absorbing the blow. These combine to evoke an instinctive loathing that wipes his mind of all but the urge to destroy. Consumed by the same desperation with which he keeps firing the empty gun, Koji rains blow after blow on his enemy. After the 10th blow, it stops sobbing. After the 20th blow, it stops moving. And after the 30th blow, it begins to feel and sound more like he's beating a wet puddle of liquid. It's fine, I've read this before! Koji doesn't stop crashing the creature until he's recovered enough of his senses to realize that whatever it might have been before is now nothing but a corpse. The pipe in his head, covered with an unidentified fluid and filth, suddenly feels unbearably heavy. Liquid!
君はまだ一番致命的なものまで
Oh,
は見ていない。
Roko in my brain. You still haven't seen the most damning part of all this. Roko's voice plays back in his head, and at last he knows how merciful her warning was. Now that his eyes are as open as hers, he's able to laugh in contempt of his own foolishness. 20 years of memories in the light of the sun, as if they were indeed precious to him, and he should have never come to this place. Black flames of despair rise within him, consuming fear and revulsion and pity. Only rage and hate remain. Every cell in his body cries out for vengeance, for the blood of the man who poisoned him with the truth and tore him from the womb of innocence. Then Koji, slave to hate, hears the sound of someone sneaking up behind him. Yeah, swing! Alright. Whatever, we're like, Fuminori is right there. Yeah, Fuminori, I'm gonna kill you! Hey, look, it's me, Fuminori with the axe!
今の一振りまるっきり手加減抜きかよ
Hey, that was a pretty heavy swing just now. You trying to kill me or something? Even now, Fuminori is smiling, as though the huge axe in his hand is just a sick joke.
参ったな
Damn, Koji, I thought you'd hesitate.
お前
迷うだと
You thought I hesitated against you! Koji sneers too, unable to contain his contempt for the notion. How dare you kill Omi, you piece of shit! What did you do to Sigma? After all this, you expect me to think twice about killing you?
そいつはいい
That's
が
my
かりを
line,
つけ方が逆だろ
Fuji,
う
Fuminori growls, looking sadly at the pile of dead flesh at Koji's feet.
工事の分際
If
で
you do
僕
such
の
a
世を
horrible
ひ
thing
ど
to
い目に遭わ
Yo,
せやがっ
I'll
て
make sure you suffer before I kill
世
you.
の10倍は痛めつけてから殺してやる覚悟し
The
ろ
blade of Fuminori's axe carves a murderous arc through the darkness, glittering menacingly at the faint light coming from the floor. Okay, when Saya comes, the doctor, please save me! Koji raises his pipe to block the ferocious swing. The heavy impact rubs his arms, numbs his arms, but his large frame takes the blow without giving any ground. No, we're gonna fight each other! Bang, 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 bang! Busted! Bang, 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 bang! Ah, we're fighting! Ah, the boys are fighting! Ah! Oh god, what's got my leg? Fuminori grunts and retreats, swinging his axe wildly to prevent Koji from following up with another attack. Koji, however, does not press his defense and just stands where he is, calmly spearing Fuminori's stare.
お前喧嘩に慣れてねえな
You've never been in a fight, have you? Ah, I've been in a fight! Don't you, Daffy? Fuminori rolls and comes in for another attack, but the damage to his right leg must be slowing his swing. Easily blocks the axe with his pipe. Fuminori is exhausting himself. Ah, die! Fuminori does his blow after heavy blow, howling savagely. All the while he does not realize, however, is that the situation now favors composure and not brute force. I'm gonna break your ribs, Fuminori! Ah! Ah, my ribs! The pain drives Fuminori to his knees! Staring down Fuminori's defenseless head, Koji is surprised by his own lack of emotion, raises his pipe high to deliver the finishing blow, and then Saya comes in! Ah! Saya, what the hell? Ah! The instant Koji passes at the unexpected sensation, something soft yet strong winds itself around his right leg and drags him to the floor before he can resist. Will Koji make it? He twists his body and tries to swing the pipe at the unseen enemy behind him, but his right hand too is seized by the same flexible force. We didn't call it a tentacle this time, unless that's what they said last time. He was able to feel it through his pants, but now his blood turns cold. At the slimy sensation of the thing wrapped around his uncovered wrist. The monster's still alive! That's it, Saya, Fuminori says encouragingly. Even while kneeling on the floor, his face twisted in pain, he manages a terrible, victorious grin. Saya! The monster is Saya! Koji struggles desperately to free his limb from the creature's slimy grip. But more, oh, there it is, tentacles swarm over his body, stealing his freedom of movement. Ryoko, please! Doctor! Doctor, save me! The horror has already driven Koji half mad, just imagining the creature's appearance enough to send him into a mindless panic. A scream is suddenly cut off as slimy appendages seize his throat. This most deadly tentacle that is just cutting off his windpipe is trying to snap his neck. It's getting tighter. This is where Koji died before! Look! New text! Koji is certain that this is the end, but just as his vision begins to dim, an explosion brings him back to his senses! Yeah! With a horrifying inhuman scream, the creature releases Koji and retracts its tentacles. The first thing he sees after regaining his mobility is Ryoko running down the hole with a smoking shotgun in one hand and a silver tube in the other.
Sensei!
Doctor! Ryoko responds by tossing him the tube. Though still lying on the floor, he managed to snatch it out of the air. It's the thermos she showed him at the restaurant, the one she called her secret weapon.
そいつの中身を奴にぶちまけろ
Pour it on that thing! Ryoko shouts to Koji. At the same time, she aims her gun at Fuminori, who's still on his knees 5 paces away. The double-barreled shotgun still has one shot loaded. The monster that attacked Koji is writhing in agony. It hasn't yet recovered from Ryoko's shot. But he's already seen the bullets aren't enough to kill each creature. Now's his only chance!
貴様ら何を
What are you doing? Fuminori growls, gritting his teeth against the pain of his broken ribs. Forcing him to be calm, Koji stands and carefully, I saw mind in the second line. Anyway, Koji stands and carefully unscrews the lid of the thermos. There's no question in his mind that something extremely potent is inside. As soon as it's unsealed, a thick white mist pours out of the thermos and the surrounding air turns freezing cold. Instantly guessing what's inside, Koji lobs the thermos at the pile of flesh convulsing on the floor. The thermos sails through the air, spewing white fog, and like a baptismal font showers? Font? Okay, font showers its liquid contents upon the hellish creature. Die! Its scream this time is incomparable to before. The monster thrashes in agony, wreathed like in white smoke. It screams and joined by Roko's cackling.
どうよマイナス197度だよねえ冷たい熱いざまあないわね
That's minus 197 degrees, you fucking monster. How's it feel? Cold? Hot? Not so tough now, are you? Perhaps the joy of vanquishing her nightmare was worth the last remnants of her sanity. The manic glee blazing in her eyes can belong only to a shattered mind.
貴様ら
Monsters! I'll kill you! Fuminori staggers to his feet, roaring black curses. His rage seems to have drowned out the pain of his broken bones. Roka's not the one to underestimate the threat posed by his axe. Her mad laughter fades away, leaving only a cold smile as she pulls the trigger. With a short burst of flame, dark flame, Roko's gun splutters and dies. Roko's not an expert on firearms. It never occurred to her that a shotgun shell needs proper storage, and besides, she always expected that any situation where a gun would be necessary would also be the one where she would not survive. Cursing in anger and dismay, no, the gun doesn't work! Roko breaks the shotgun open and awkwardly pulls the dud out. Meanwhile, Fuminori stalks toward her like a vengeful demon, the head of his axe screeching as it drags along the floor. This is so intense. This is the best part of the visual novel right now. I have to stop him! Koji charges Fuminori, but only succeeds at sending himself spooling. One of his shoes is stuck to the floor, frozen by the liquid nitrogen. As Roko fumbles in her pocket for a new shell, Fuminori closes the distance and raises his axe in both hands. Damn! Koji curses and rips his shoe free of the frozen concrete, but he knows that he'll never make it in time. Roko thrusts a new shell in the chamber of her shotgun and snaps it closed, then looks up to find her target. Fuminori is right before her, too close to evade, with its axes already crashing down with the wind howling in its wake. Stop! The sound of bones shattering, tendons snapping, the flesh tearing blend together in foul harmony. The thick blade enters through Roko's left shoulder, plowing through her collarbone and shoulder blade, smashing several ribs and popping her lung like a balloon before stopping in the center of her chest. Ah! Her expression frozen in shock by the impact as she sprays a geyser of blood from her mouth. She should have died instantly, but through some unimaginable force of will, Roko clings to life for a few seconds more. Grinning through blood-stained lips, she raises her shotgun. Oh my god, look at her! She's badass! Not to the front, but to the side. Beyond the barrel of a gun, wearing the 77-degree Kelvin mist like a white cloak of death, is the weakly wriggling Saya. No! Yo! Fuminori's scream vanishes into the roar of the shotgun. The destruction is absolute. The impact of the shotgun pellets obliterates the half of Saya's body that fell prey to the liquid nitrogen. The frozen particles of Saya's shattered flesh drift to the floor like snow. The creature's special biology is insufficient to seal a wound of this size. From the opening pore of its internal organs, a tide of liquid, slime, and fat whose color is far too foul to belong to any living creature. Abortion! Sorry. No, die, Saya! The monster convulses, wailing in a weak, pitiful voice.
Saya.
Oh no, it's so over. It's so over for me. Saya. With his axe still buried in Ryoko's body, Fuminori stares at the dying creature, his expression utterly devoid of emotion. Koji grabs his pipe and prepares to attack Fuminori from behind, but freezes when he sees the emptiness on the face of the man he hated. Fuminori pulls his axe out of Ryoko's corpse. No, she's dead! Then looks at Koji with glazed eyes. There's no recognition in them, nor hate, nor rage. When Koji meets Fuminori's blank stare, he knows. There's nothing left in him to kill. Fuminori grips the axe closer to his head, raises it high, the blade towards his face. Koji doesn't know whether he should interfere, but even if he wanted to, what could he say to stop Fuminori? Fuminori pulls the head back slowly, then drives his face into the blade of the axe, like a spring-loaded toy. Ah! Ah! Crunch! His skull caves in with a dull, wet sound, and the spray of blood catches Koji in the face. Despite Fuminori's utter lack of hesitation, his first attempt at suicide succeeds, only in transforming his face to a hash of crimson. Fuminori pulls his head back one more tied, even slower than before. Then with every ounce of strength he's still alive? Then with every ounce of strength still left in his body, he slams into it, the blood-stained axe. The sound is wetter than before. Fuminori's body goes limp, then tumbles face first into the floor. Koji stares at the two mangled corpses for a while. He feels completely left behind, like he can't remember why he's standing in this place with a steel pipe in his hand. The stale air filling the ruined building becomes choked with the stench of blood, and the crimson puddles gradually spread across the snow-covered floor. Yet the tranquility of the scene makes it seem like a painting. A soft sliding sound breaks the silence. Koji looks at the mortally wounded monster. The creature is on death's door, but even so, it moves. Slowly, feebly, it drags its broken body through the sea of blood. It's coming for Fuminori. Koji had forgotten his anger, but now it comes surging back at full force.
Shineo.
Die. He growls and stabs the monster at the end of his pipe. It convulses in agony, but keeps crawling toward Fuminori. Koji explodes into a frenzy of rage.
死ねよもう死んでろよこれ以上文則に使えるんじゃねえよ
That Oro went forward. Okay, again and again, he smashes the helpless flesh beast with his pipe. Something tells him that if he does not stop it here, he will truly have lost. The monster, however, never succumbs. It struggles on beneath his blows until it finally reaches Fuminori's corpse.
触るな文則に触るなてめえは何様だってんだよあー
Don't touch him! Don't touch him, damn you! What gives you the right? Koji keeps swinging, his fury unabated, even as tears stop to pool in his eyes. The monster's slime flies through the air, joining with the blood already covering his face. The creature extends one thin, trembling tentacle to touch Fuminori's shoulder, then lovingly caresses his blood-stained cheek. Isn't this tragic? They're just like Romeo and Juliet. They're both dying now. And then it stops moving. Even in its final moments, the monster would not let Fuminori go. It died, joined with him. At last, Koji knows that the world he loved is gone forever. Yeah! Oh!
ねえねえ今度のスキーだけどさ今年はどっかスケートも遊べるところにしない
I was gonna say like, yeah, we killed him! It's not over yet. Hey! Omi says enthusiastically, the exposed bones of her face clattering.
Why don't we go somewhere we can skate for this year's ski trip?
Chunks of her body are missing, as though something's been nibbling on her. It makes her look a lot thinner. She's been worried about her weight recently, but now she shouldn't need a diet. Wow. Is this really what you have to say about dead woman? Oh no, does Koji see the world like this now? Fuminori laughs at Omi's crazy suggestion. That's right, you just started skating recently, didn't you? He sounds amused, but it's hard to tell from his expression, since his face has been cleaved in two by an axe.
20歳になって初体験ってのは興味そうそういないんじゃないかな。
Not many people start skating in their 20s, you know?
子供の頃はなんとなく怖かったのよあの靴なんだか刃物みたいでさ
I was scared when I was little.
Those shoes look like big knives.
うん、わかる。あの靴で顔を蹴られたらきっと僕みたいになっちゃうよね。
Yeah, I know. If someone kicked you in the face with one of those on, you'd probably end up like me. Oh no, is this Koji like haunted in his nightmares or something? Oh, at least Yo looks normal. Omi and Yo laugh at Fuminori's dumb joke. Yo never used to laugh with such exuberance. She seemed truly happy now that she and Fuminori are officially together.
でもいきなり蹴って殺せたの？オウミちゃんすごくない？
But you were able to kill him on your first try? That's amazing, Omi.
容量はバットとそう変わるもんじゃないからな。思い切り振り回して斧頭の重さに任せて叩きつける感覚とか。
It's a lot like playing baseball. You swing hard and let the weight of the axe do the damage.
海のりにそう言われたもんだからさ、騙されたと思ってやってみたわけよ。そうしたらもう楽しくって。
What is going on?
He made killing him sound so easy. I figured I'd give it a try. And it was fun.
What is this feeling? Something is wrong, though Koji can't put his finger on what.
私も見てみたいな。オウミちゃんが食べられるところ。
Oh, well, I want to try eating Omi too.
Oh, that's it. When he sees Yo's envious smile, Koji finally realizes what's bothering him.
なあ、つくば。
Hey, Tsukuba.
どうしたの、コウジくん？
What's wrong?
お前だけなんで普通なんだ。
Why are you formal? Yo tilts her head quizzically, like she doesn't understand what he means.
普通って？私はいつも普通だけど。
Normal? I'm always normal.
でもお前、
But
確かあの時。
you were...
ああ、うんうん。
Oh, I get it.
Yo nods in understanding.
なんだ、私がコウジくんと違う姿になってた頃のこと？ずいぶん昔の話じゃない。
You're talking about when I look different from you. That was such a long time ago.
昔なのか。
Yes?
そうだよ。
Of course.
She replies, deflecting Koji's confusion with that uncannily cheerful smile.
だってコウジくんも今じゃ私たちの仲間じゃない。
After all, you're one of us now.
あ
Oh. Of course. Koji looks down and is satisfied to see wriggling tentacles where his arms and legs should be. When he opens his eyes, his mattress and pillow are soaked in sweat. It's always the same nightmare. He doesn't know how many times he's had it, but at least he's not leaping out of bed screaming anymore. He sits up, clutching his throbbing head. It's 4 in the morning. He hasn't had nearly enough rest, but he probably won't be able to get back to sleep tonight. Time for a smoke. A full pack will last him until dawn. Now, where did he put the pack he bought yesterday? Koji wanders sleepily into the den, where yet another old friend is waiting for him.
ひどいありさまだね。まったく。
You look like hell.
ああ、先生。いたんですか。
Doctor, you're here too? Ryoko's chopped up corpse is sitting in his dining table, looking as deathly pale as ever as she sips coffee from a mug.
毎晩ずいぶんと辛そうじゃないか。ろくに眠れてないんだろ。
He's traumatized! You can't be getting much sleep, tossing and turning like that every night.
そうでもないですよ。薬を飲めば割となんとかなります。まだ。
It's not always like this, Koji says amicably as he sits down across from her. If I take some pills, it usually helps. For now. Hallucinations like these are easier to deal with than elaborate nightmares like the one he just had. They should probably worry him more though.
あの時私の忠告を聞き入れてれば、ここまで追い詰められることなんてなかっただろうに。
If you'd listened to my warnings back then, you wouldn't be in such bad shape now.
もうやめましょうよ、それは。過ぎたことじゃないですか。
Let's stop talking about that. What's done is done. Ryoko chuckled, smiling the same cruel, manic smile that she used when she was alive. Her left arm hangs from her half-severed shoulder, dangling like a forgotten wind chime.
そう。結構折り合いをつけてるんだ。
I'm sad she died. She was cool. She was the awesomest. And she was so badass. Sounds like you've come to terms with it.
先生だってそうだったんでしょう。普段は優秀な脳外科医で通用してたんだから。
You were the same, weren't you? You managed to pass yourself off as an elite neurosurgeon most of the time.
上辺だけ取り繕うだけならそんなに難しいことじゃないからね。
It's not that hard keeping up appearances. You have to. The corpse shrugs her intact right shoulder and grimaces in disgust as she takes another sip of her coffee.
でもね、多分この先はもっと悪くなるよ。
But it's only gonna get worse, you know.
心の傷は時間が癒してくれるけど、君はまあ言ってみれば毒に感染したようなものだから。
Time heals emotional wounds. But with you, it's more like you've been poisoned. She's probably right. Everyone dreams at night. No matter how dim the memories may get, the nightmares will always be there to turn to Koji with fresh fangs. The insanity that has taken root in his heart will grow, eventually consuming everything that's left inside of him.
俺の場合、先生っていう前例を見て学んでますからね。抜かりはありませんよ。
In my case, I've had you to learn from. I'm ready for anything.
へえ、そうなの。
Is that so? Koji nods, smiling confidently, then stands and walks to the bathroom, where he retrieves the weapon he'd kept hidden behind the mirror. Ogai's revolver, the one souvenir that Koji brought back from the other world that night.
ものすごい苦労したんですけど、結局ようやくその筋の人と渡りをつけましてね。
It was tough, but I finally found someone who deals in these things.
弾も買ってあります。驚きましたよ。銃そのものより高いなんて。
I bought enough bullets for it. Can you believe that ammunition is more expensive than the gun itself?
おやおや。
How about that? In the mirror, Koji sees Roko with her axe-inflicted gash reversed. She raises her mug in a toast to Koji's resourcefulness.
で、何発買ったわけ？弾は。
So, how many shots did you buy? Is he gonna kill himself?
一発だけです。
Just one. This time, it's Koji who shrugs his shoulder. He uses both, exercising his privilege as a survivor.
それ以上必要になるような状況は、俺は願い下げなんで。
You see, I never want to be in a situation where I'll need more.
ふん。
Oh? The corpse in the mirror nods sagely, her smile approving.
ほんと、わきまえてるんだね、トノオくん。
You really do get it. There's a brief silence. Koji doesn't really feel like getting all melancholy with a dead woman.
ねえ先生、いい加減ファミレスのコーヒーはやめましょうよ。なんなら新しいの入れますから。
Hey, doctor, let's give the diner coffee a rest. If you want, I'll put on a new pot of... Koji turns around halfway through his sentence. He realizes that the room is empty, but for the silence of the night. And so, Koji returns to the world of the sane. He lights his first cigarette of the night and takes a deep drag. While sitting alone in his den, huffing on his smoke, he stares at the gun in his hand. He knows just how precarious a cliff he's standing on. The final line of which Roko spoke is now one step behind him. Koji no longer has anything to protect his soul. Now that Ogai Masahiko's fantasies and Tambo Roko's delusions have all become tangible horrors, he knows what insanity and despair truly are. Back in the real world, Sakisaka Fuminori is wanted for several gruesome murders. It didn't take long for someone to discover the stockpiles of human meat in the empty Sakisaka and Suzumi homes. With the two refrigerators, in the two refrigerators were found the remains of Suzumi Yosuke, his wife and daughter, and Takahata Omi. They found the clothes and other effects of Tsukuba Yo, but were unable to locate any trace of her among the various body parts. In fact, that made Koji's nightmare all the more vivid. Dr. Tambo Ryoko of T University Hospital vanished mysteriously around the same time. Because she was Fuminori's chief physician, the police have been investigating her connection to his crimes. As for the two corpses secretly buried in the backyard of a certain ruin, well, they'll probably never be found. This incident will just become another cold case. Koji alone knows what really happened, and he has no intention of revealing it. Not now, not ever. Ogai's writing were not nonsense, which means that everything else was. What a fool it was who said that men are the lords of creation. Those who believe in paltry things like human wisdom and valor are those lucky innocents who have not looked into the abyss. Koji can no longer share in their blessed ignorance. He knows he has been defiled by the insanity called truth, and he will never believe again. If he has been poisoned, as Groko's ghost said, the poison is none other than the truth itself. Just as pure oxygen is harmful to the body, the naked truth has the power to destroy men's minds. Only by diluting it with lies and taking it in small doses can humans maintain a healthy soul.
どんなに世界が底抜けにめちゃくちゃになっていこうと
No matter what horrors the world might hold, words once spoken by the living Tambo Ryoko passed through Koji's mind.
悲鳴を上げて逃げ回る以外の選択肢が自
Still
分
had
に
some
は
power against madness. That, without a doubt, was the comfort that she kept hidden in her bosom. In her bosom? In her boob. In her bosom. The only thing that allowed her to face her dreams each night. I'm so scared that he's gonna just shoot himself now. Koji has taken his predecessor's lessons to heart. He's prepared for anything. One bullet is always behind the bathroom mirror, promising salvation. Oh, he's just ready to, like, kill himself at any point now. Yay! Was that a happy ending? I don't know. Both endings aren't exactly happy, depending on the perspective. Yo, I gotta say though, for this game, this last stream has been the most entertaining. We got to see fights. We got to see Saya give birth. We got to see the doctor be badass. Fuminori stabbed himself with an axe 2 times. That's pretty awesome. Wasn't really a good ending, was it? I mean, hey, Koji's alive. He might not be sane, but he's alive. When she saw Saya, that was badass. So true. So, like, freezing her body and then shattering her body. And, like, Saya's like, ah! And then, like, Fuminori's just like, I'm giving up now. There's nothing else for me in this life. So, yeah. What are my final thoughts about sayanouta? I can see why it's like a kind of like a classic or well-known story now. I believe that this sayanouta became way more popular after Madoka Magica came out, because again, written by the same person. And then after Madoka Magica, people wanted to find out more about his works. If I'm correct in saying so, I think Urobuchi also wrote Fate Stay Night? I'm not too sure, but I think he was on Fate at some point or something like that. And like, Fate is also a gigantic thing that I've never looked into, apart from knowing the name Saber. And also the fact that like FGO has like 2 characters illustrated by Rui. So they look just like Danganronpa characters, and one of them just looks like Tomoino. We still never got to see what Saya really looked like. I mean, I'm assuming she's just a fleshy monster. You know? Saber, yeah. Which Saber? Hey, who knows? I don't know how long Fate Stay Night is as a visual novel, but maybe one day we'll try reading it. And that'll take forever. That will take forever to read. But some people have. I mean, right? Some people have a lot of time on their hands. Sweet! Alright, well, we finished this game. Yeah! I'm happy. I think this last stream was the most satisfying. For me, at least. Because we got to see people die. In satisfying ways. Do I think the good ending for Fuminori and Saya was good? I mean, again, I think like Saya giving birth and like destroying the whole world and turning all of them into like fleshy monsters is a kind of, it's a cool ending. But I don't really like it because I don't really like Fuminori. I think Saya's like, I think Saya's a well done character though. Like she looks very innocent and like obviously like she's craving love and stuff and she's programmed to like reproduce and whatever. But like her suggestions of like how to like, I don't know, especially towards Yo and stuff like that, I'm like, she is messed up, dude. Saya is messed up. And like what's worse is that Fuminori, like he has gone so far that he's like, yeah, okay, we'll just do this. This is great. This is great for me and Saya. Like he's not really human anymore. But I also think it's like kind of sweet, you know, at the very end of the second ending, that like Fuminori just can't keep going after he sees like Saya dying, so he kills himself, and then Saya with her like dying breath goes towards Fuminori and they die together. And I'm like, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. Traumatizing, but that's kind of nice. Again, the doctor was my favorite character in this because she's just badass. And I think Saya as a character and a concept is very cool. I like the idea of her as this like eldritch horror abomination thing. And also like questioning what you would do, like in Fuminori's case, losing your humanity and whatnot. So overall, I think this story is interesting. It didn't necessarily need all the sex scenes, but I think it was fine, you know, like it's just showing like, you know, Fuminori actually has a relationship with her and everything. The sexual assault stuff with like Yo and stuff though, not exactly my cup of tea. But like that's what the story was going for. And like Yo's kind of a pitiful character. Very sad what happened to her. That's the one. That's the one part of the game that was just bad. The rest is good. Yeah, again, like I'm glad that I played this on the censored Steam version. If you do buy this game through Just USA, it will be the uncensored version. So that's just a warning. Although I think, is there a way you can like turn off? No. There doesn't seem to be options here. Well, maybe it's different if you buy the Just version. But, as far as I'm aware, I don't think the Just version gives you an option to skip the, sex scenes. So, I mean, if you're interested in playing this or, like, gifting this, I guess, to someone else, gift them the Steam version. which is the version I played. I think it's effective enough. And again, Saya being designed as this, like, you know, very young girl, clearly that's not something I need to see, so but hey, I think this is interesting for because again, I've only ever experienced Madoka Magica for Urobuchi's works, so this being the second one, it's kind of interesting because this came out like a while before Madoka 2. But I think what it was is, like, after Madoka, this game sold extremely well to the point that, like, it was like the sales that it made was like a new game that just released because people were just interested in seeing the story again. So hey, it's pretty cool. Again, would I recommend this story? I don't know. I definitely wouldn't recommend it to people under 18, you know? I don't think anyone should take away from this story and think like, oh, the sex scenes were good. You know, like, it's part of the story, but like, it, from my experience, I didn't need to see it. And so I'm glad I played the censored version. Because I feel like it would, it works fine as a story, even just as is, without the sexual content in it. I don't really want to, you know, look at Fumidori and Saya getting it on, making babies. He only did Fate Zero. Oh, okay. If we did play a Fate, I would say we should play Stay Night. Yeah, Stay Night. Fate Stay Night's the first one, right? There's a lot to Fate. I really don't know anything about that entire series franchise of multiple games, multiple, I don't know, AUs. But it seems interesting enough. Anyway, now that we finished the game, I wanted to say thank you guys for watching this stream. I'm glad to finally have this over with. Honestly, I've been like, we've done 3 streams of it and it's like been dragged out, right? I'm apologizing for that. I only stream when I am able to, or I have the time to. So I'm hoping that next year I can be a bit more consistent with streaming. Maybe? I'd like to anyway. I'd like to stream a bit more often and play more games. I'm interested in checking out more Danganronpa fan games at some point. I think that would be interesting. Because again, like, I was talking about like, oh, I wish I could play Danganronpa again. But when I've already like experienced Danganronpa, I feel like playing Danganronpa as a stream would not be like incredibly fun to watch if like everybody already knows what's happening, unless I have someone to play with that knows absolutely nothing. I think that would be a fun experience, but it's not something that I can do right now because I don't have anyone that fits that description. What's the next time you'll be streaming? I don't know. I have to work tomorrow, but that's in the morning. Who knows? Maybe I can squeeze in one more stream before the end of the year. But I don't know what of. Maybe I'll make it a drawing stream or something. We'll see. Oh, wait, you know what? Something that I would love to do for Eden's Garden. So I was talking to who was it? I think it was Sweden? Was it Sweden? Let me just double check who I was talking to about this. Taco. No, I think I was talking to Soze. So Soze being the I believe the head writer for Eden's Garden. I was asking because, you know, like with Danganronpa games, when you do free time events, when you play the game, like you don't really go back and do everyone's free time event until like after the game, right? So like picking who you want to hang out with becomes like more of a precious choice, because you're like, oh, who do I actually want to spend my time with? But with like Project Eden's Garden, because like, again, we won't get a chapter for who knows how long, I was like, is it like a good idea to try and do all the free time events? To like read ahead, you know, kind of? And I was wondering like what they thought about it. Like, would it be like disrespectful to do that or something? But so they said it was fine if I wanted to do that, and even gave me like tips of like who is available on what free time event. But I was thinking that's a lot of work to do, and I think people have made compilations of everyone's free time events. So I was thinking maybe tomorrow or the day after. Actually, maybe tomorrow's better, because the day after would be the last day of the year, which probably not be streaming then, and actually spending time with my family. But yeah, maybe we can do a little like watch through of all the Project Eden Gardens available free time events so far, and then maybe discuss some things, because there's definitely things where after I played Project Eden Garden, I was like, oh, I didn't even pick up on that while I was playing. So it would be nice to discuss and maybe even think about who might die. Who might die for chapter 2. I think that'll be cool. But yeah, that might be fun. And by the time chapter 2 comes out, maybe I'll forget all the free time events, so it doesn't even matter. I'll play them again. But yeah, alrighty. Thank you everybody for coming to the stream. I'm hoping sayanouta didn't traumatize you. But if this was your first time experiencing the story, I hope that my commentary of it was somewhat interesting. And we should not be viewing sayanouta as like the peak of fiction. I do like the concept of it. I'm just not sure I am the target audience, nor someone, you know, who is supposed to be like, wow, that was the best story ever. No worries. All right, everybody, I'm gonna let you go. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you maybe tomorrow. Bye bye.